Hey there, nerds. We are back. We are back. Not wearing black, but we are better than ever. Welcome to Alpha Nerds. I believe this is episode 33, I think, or episode Tree for all you Cole Region fans out there, all five of you. How we doing, buddy? How you been?
I'm all right, man. I'm doing pretty good. Been playing a lot of games lately. The post rebirth depression's finally starting to wear off. You know how that is.
Yeah.
So
I'm like completely prepping for it. I'm like thinking like, ooh, what do I want to do after rebirth? Because like
yeah,
I don't know.
found in
I was like looking at my game shelf. I was like, besides playing 14, I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Because I like, and there's too many open world games. Like, the last thing I want to fucking do is play a game that's like, oh yeah, open world RPG elements. Yeah, let's get back
yeah.
in there. So I'm like, oh
I was
god,
in rough shape after rebirth, but 14
yeah,
helped me get out of that. So
yeah. So, I think what I'm gonna do though, since I have a huge backlog of like shows, like I need to get caught up on Shogun. Fallout's gonna be out. Um, I'm gonna get caught up on Halo because I actually heard the second season's actually pretty good.
oh god,
Listen, I heard the second season's pretty good. Now I'm a massive Halo fan, so you know we're gonna see. I will report back
okay,
on that, and
okay.
then
'Cause I've
yeah.
heard the opposite. I heard it gets worse in the second season.
Well, so I heard I don't know because like I follow the Iron Lords podcast and King talks about it a lot, and like so, but I'm like so it might be a bit of a hot take because sometimes I feel like he's a bit of a hype man, but
Well, those
uh
guys. Okay, so listen, like I like them, all right,
yeah,
but those
but
guys are definitely gigantic fanboys. Like
that's what I'm saying.
when
Like
Cog was going off about Tekken and calling it like one of the greatest games of all time and whatnot, I'm like, all right, man, like let's calm down, you know?
yeah, I don't know if Tekken's a goal. I mean, it's definitely like if I had a top 100, maybe in there, maybe like somewhere in the 90s, but I don't know about GOAT.
Yes, I mean, listen, I respect fighting game fans. I do. I
Yeah,
they are engaging in an art that is beyond me and
yeah,
something that I feel like I just cannot ever comprehend.
yeah. And now we're too old, buddy. We're like we can't. The arcade scene's dead
You
to
just
us.
gave up on it. You were done. You said I'm Street Fighter 5 hurt me and I'm done now.
Yeah, dude, I haven't even bought Street Fighter 6 like at all. Maybe when it's on a sale, like when it's super cheap, I'll pick it up and see what's up. But yeah, Street Fighter 5 broke me in such a manner that I was like, I'm so out, and I just never came back. I haven't really played a fighting game since. Besides, like
That's crazy.
I beat like the campaign of Injustice, and I think randomly a Mortal Kombat game at one point.
Injustice
Um,
doesn't get as much love as it should.
no, Injustice is great. I wish we would get like an Injustice movie. Fucking DC, if you're gonna do, huh?
They
Nah,
made
they
all the
fucked up.
comics. The comics
They
are pretty
fucked
good.
up. We don't trust DC. So let's get into um what we are playing. Or actually, no, don't we do that at the end of the show now, don't we?
Yeah, we wouldn't switch it
Yeah,
around.
yeah. Yeah. So scratch that. Let's get into the big event we attended recently. So
Yeah,
getting right into it, we had a fucking phenomenal time in New York City. I feel like.
yeah, I do
Um,
too.
I got into the city. Well, no, you were technically in the city before me because you went the
Yeah,
day before.
yep.
So how about you recap that day before for me? Like what y'all get into? Talk to me.
Um, there's not much to recap because we got there pretty late. We left the house late, and then by the time we got there, it was like 5 or 6 o'clock. I think it was like 5 o'clock.
Okay.
And this is the same hotel that I always stay at for New York Comic Con, and that's significant because I know it very well,
Yes.
right? And it's not a fancy hotel by any means. It's just a Comfort Inn. But we got there, and the the parking lot is completely flooded with water, like to an insane amount. So there was a Mustang there that I'm pretty sure is like totaled now because it was like up to the hood in water. So
Yeah, that
that
thing's
was pretty
fucked.
nuts. And it was the rain had pretty much stopped. Sorry, the rain had pretty much stopped by the time we got there. So that was pretty nice. But we got there, we took a bus into the city. We went to the Tamashi Nation store, the SH Figure Arts store, um, and bought a couple figures there. Um, and then we went to the Nintendo store, and that was a big letdown. Did you go to the
Nintendo
Nintendo?
World.
Did you?
Yeah,
Know,
I've been to the Nintendo World store a few times. I didn't go when I was up, obviously, but
okay.
it's been like probably fuck. It's probably been 7 years since I've been there.
Well, so it used to be really cool, and it still is cool, I guess. It's just not what I was expecting anymore. Um, so what it used to be was like you'd walk in, and first off, back in the day, this was a Pokemon Center, and they changed it to Nintendo World. I don't know, a long time ago, which is fine. But the upstairs, last time I had gone, was still all like a Pokemon Center, and I told Caitlin about this, and I was hyping it up to her, kind of, because she's a huge Pokemon fan. And we get there, and the upstairs had almost completely been relegated to advertising for the Princess Peach game coming out. And no one gives a shit about, dude. So I'm looking around. I'm like, where the fuck is all the Pokemon stuff? Well, they had relegated Pokemon to like the very corner. I'm talking like a 5x5 space of the Nintendo world. And I'm like, God damn, that sucks. Because there was like nothing there and it was pretty lame. And I don't know. That wasn't great. We went to this burger place after, which I can't even remember what it was called, but it was really good. We got in surprisingly immediately. And we got like huge milkshakes and whatnot. It was great. And yeah, that was pretty much it. We walked around Times Square a little bit. I was telling her the tale of where Toys R Us used to be in Times Square and how awesome it was. Um, got approached by a couple scammers. Same old, same old. It is what it is.
Did anyone sell you a mixtape?
No, that did happen to me though on my first New York Comic Con trip. Someone tried to sell me a mixtape.
Passage. That is a New York rite of passage.
Mm-hmm. But I didn't have any cash on me, so I got saved from it. So like he's like, hey man, I'm handing these out, and I was like, oh thanks. I didn't want it, but I was being polite. And he goes, normally people tip or whatever. What he said, I said, I'm sorry, man, I don't have any cash. He goes, I can't give them out for free. And I'm like, okay, here you go. Like fucking
yeah, take this. I don't want this.
Yeah,
please take this back.
Yeah, here you go.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
that is awesome. So while you were in New York City, I was at home recovering because I was in Atlantic City the 2 days before we went to New York City.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I went down to AC. It was the start of the NCAA tournament for basketball, for the men specifically. And I was gambling like a fucking degenerate. They do have a really sweet arcade in AC though, so that's something I'm gonna revisit. I also didn't realize like Atlantic City is like literally an hour from me. I literally just get in my car, jump on 76, and just drive straight on the highway. But Jersey does this thing that I really fucking hate, and I forgot about it. Where if you're on the I guess the toll road down to AC, it's like literally every 10 or 20 miles you got to pull over and pay a fucking toll, and then get back on the highway.
Really? You can't just stay on it?
I have an easy pass, but I forgot to load it, so I was like, shit. All right, let me just fucking go. Yeah,
so that was weird. You can't just stay on.
You can. If you have an easy pass, you can. But if you don't and you drive through the easy pass, they will send you like a $60 fine. So don't do that.
Okay.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, so I was in the AC, spent Saturday. When I came home Saturday morning, I was like, all right, I just need to chill because I had a train booked for the next day, and my train left at I think 5:15 in the morning. I took the train because it was like $20, so it was like cheap. So I go over to 3rd Street Station here in Philadelphia, or 30th Street Station, excuse me, over here in Philadelphia, and I'll pay my $20 for parking. Then I walk over to the train station. All's well. I didn't see a single soul. I'm like, oh, this is great, easy. So I get in line, get on the train, and within an hour and 20 minutes, I'm in New York City. I'm like, this is great. Now there was one problem. One massive problem.
It had nothing to do.
Well, there was two massive problems. Oh. So the first massive problem in New York City, way too early. I do not recommend being in New York City with nothing to do at 6:30 in the morning. Like, don't do it. Secondly, there is a fucking, and I thought I knew this, but once you see it with your own eyes, you're like, oh shit. The homeless problem in New York City is like fucking awful.
Oh yeah.
Not that that's shocking news, but again, when you're among them, because you don't really. when
You
you're
assimilate and
yeah,
become one of them.
yeah, when basically become one of them for the day because like you just randomly got on the train in New York City and didn't really have anything to do for like a few hours. I'm like, oh god. So I get out at Penn Station and it's like empty, but then you like go into the bathroom because I had to pee, and I go into the bathroom. There's like a fucking homeless dude just tweaking the fuck out in one of the stalls. I'm like, what? And there was some dude who came in. I guess he had to take a shit or I don't know what he was trying to do, and he's like banging on the stall. He's like, dude, people gotta fucking use the bathroom. Get the fuck out of here. He's like freaking out of this homeless guy. Like, okay, I'm just gonna pee and get the fuck out of here. So I do that. And then I go up to the street level. I'm like, all right, let me get out of this train station because this is a fucking sketch fest. And so then I go by Madison Square Garden, which was a mistake because there was fucking just more homeless people. It was almost like fucking yeah, it's like in the movie where you like fucking go to somewhere sketchy and somebody goes like running across the street. Like, there's like so I seen one dude go like scampering across the street. Another guy behind me is like, "Hey man, could you spare some change?" I'm like, I don't have any cash on me, dude, because I don't really carry cash to begin with. But when I'm going to like a major city that I know has like contactless payment and all that, I just don't carry cash. So I am like, yeah, no, I'm getting out of here. So I see that a McDonald's is open. I duck into McDonald's. All right, I'm just gonna go and get some breakfast and eat real slow. So I eat my breakfast, which takes me like an hour because I'm just sitting there. I think I watched an episode of Juju Kaisen while I was eating, and then I'm like, all right, I gotta get the fuck out of here because there's like we're starting to come in and want a seat and all that. I'm like, I'm not just about to be here just fucking taking up people's time. So I get out of the McDonald's and then I go walking up up towards Central Park because we'd made plans to go to the zoo. I'm like, okay, we're gonna go to the zoo. So if for some reason they want to meet me at the zoo, I'll just be in Central Park. That's literally it was like I think an hour walk technically, but it's New York City, so you can do it. So I go walking, and so I walk about 15 blocks. I'm just strolling along, taking in the scenes because it's kind of cool seeing New York City empty because like you're not used to it
Yeah.
because it's always packed. Like literally by 8 a.m. it's fucking a shit show.
Right.
So so after I walk a little while, I see a Starbucks. I'm like, all right, mate, all right, it's kind of cold out here. I'm gonna duck into this Starbucks, have a coffee, chill for a minute, and then see what's up. So I go into the Starbucks and I order my coffee. I'm sitting there, and then like four homeless dudes come strolling in. They just try to set up shop, and the employees start freaking the fuck out and they start calling the cops. I'm like, these fucking homeless people, man. They're like zombies. They're like fucking like you're in Raccoon City. So long story short, until basically I met you at the Port Authority, I was ducking homeless guys all morning. Just avoiding them. So if you are planning a trip to New York City, while the 5 a.m. train is great, it's cheap. It's literally like $20. Have somewhere to go.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're in for a day. The zoo was sweet, though. I enjoyed that. It was a
Yeah.
good time.
Yeah. It was smaller than I thought it would be, but it was still pretty cool. They had a lot there, including like bears and exotic birds and reptiles and stuff, and a penguin exhibit, which I thought was cool. So yeah, I was all in for it. I thought it was pretty neat,
Yeah.
and Central Park was pretty impressive as well.
Yeah, Central Park rules. When you're there during the day, don't be in Central Park at night. Don't recommend it. Then obviously next time we go to New York, we got to get you guys to the Bronx Zoo. I'll definitely do that trip with y'all because I love zoos. So anytime when I can go to a zoo, I'm in. But
Yeah, I didn't know. Like that's why if you weren't there, we probably just would have went to like Times Square and like putzed around or something like that all day.
yeah,
Um,
hmm
but we went to my first H Mart and got a Korean bowl, which I thought was
oh yeah, well, I was
pretty
gonna ask you about
awesome.
that. What'd you think of the H Mart experience?
Oh, I thought it was awesome. I thought it was great.
Yeah,
And then we went to that Japanese grocery store that had all kinds of Gundams and statues up top, which I thought was
hmm
pretty cool.
yeah,
So we were just having a blast exploring around. Um,
yeah. We did the Harry
New York.
Potter exhibit.
Oh yeah, that was pretty neat. That was pretty neat.
Yeah, I
It wasn't
enjoyed that.
it wasn't as expensive as I thought it would be either.
No, because they were trying to sell us our photo for fucking $40.
Yeah,
That's where they would have got their money.
yeah, that was pretty nuts.
Yeah, it sucks because like I'm like a massive Harry Potter fan, like so I would definitely narc out for Harry Potter merch, but they price it such that I talk myself out of it immediately. Because
Got
like,
to go
oh,
to the
I'll
Universal
buy,
stuff.
yeah, I'll buy Voldemort's wand. No, I won't. I'm good.
Yeah, the Universal Studios Harry Potter experience is really cool.
Yeah, I've been to that one. I went, I think, in like 2018.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it's changed much, but I
Yeah,
would
I don't
love to
know.
go again. You know where I want to go? I need to go to fucking Nintendo World whenever they fucking or the Super Mario, where the fuck that theme
Oh
park
yeah.
is. I need to go, but like I've heard it's super packed all the fucking times. I'm like,
Well, they're adding it to the Universal Florida as
yeah,
well,
yeah. I need
including
to go. I need to go when it just rains.
and they're also adding in another Harry Potter experience in the Universal
Nice.
Florida when Epic Universe is done.
Yeah, I need a Disney trip because I need to do that. I need to do Disney. I need to do Universal. I need to build a lightsaber. Like these are
Yeah.
things that are like non-negotiables for me. So
Well, next time me and Austin go down, you should come with us.
yeah, dude. Especially if you guys come down because you guys fly out of Philly, right?
Yep.
Next time you guys do legitimately are gonna go, let me know and I'll see
Okay.
if I can make that trip. But even if you're coming down to Philly, I'm gonna take you for pho when you come to Philly because I literally
Ah.
live right. Yeah, I literally live right by the airport. Like literally, I could.
Okay.
Yeah, you could probably even park at my house to be honest,
Well,
or like
I
my
am
apartment.
flying out of Philly in 2 weeks.
Jesus. You go to Disney. Oh, you're going for May the 5th, aren't you?
No, I'm going to visit Austin.
Oh, you're going to Georgia.
Yeah, we're going to Georgia for the weekend.
Never went down to Georgia.
Yep.
Oh, well, shit. We should get pho that weekend because
Yeah, we'll see. I forget my plane doesn't leave super early. I think we leave at like 3 maybe.
3 p.m. Yeah, so leave Jersey Shore a little early, get to Philly by like 1, and yeah, we'll get some pho, my treat, and then we'll send you off right.
Pedro, I don't even know what pho is. I'll be
It's
honest with you.
it's basically Vietnamese food. It's like if you like ramen, you like pho. I'd be a little shocked if you didn't. But
Oh yeah, we're not leaving until 3 p.m. So we'll have some time to
yeah, man.
hang out with you in Philly. Hopefully
Yeah, come
not
on
too
down.
much.
Now, where we will go won't be like actually in Philly. It'll be in Essington, which is like outside, like it's like an industrial area, so it's not anything
You're
crazy.
crazy, by the way. I was watching videos of Philadelphia today, like hours ago, and you're like, oh, I think New York City is cleaner than Philly. You're out of your
Well,
fucking mind,
so
dude.
what part of Philly was it? Because if it was Kensington, all bets are off.
It doesn't. It doesn't matter. I don't think there's any parts of New York City that look like a third world war country. Like there's parts of Philadelphia
Buddy,
that do.
when go down to Madison Square Garden, that shit looks.
We walked right past Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, when it wasn't fucking full of homeless dudes and fucking trash everywhere. I fucking saw it. I'm traumatized.
What, as opposed to dead bodies in Philadelphia everywhere. Like I don't know, man.
So the parts of Philadelphia you don't go to are North Philly, Kensington, and more or less everywhere else. Like it's a crapshoot, but like there are also like where I live in Philly is pretty good, which is Southeast Philadelphia. South Philly's not bad. West Philly, Point Breeze, all that. Center City's cool, but yeah, there are just certain parts of the city you don't fuck around in. And yeah, but I will say I think Philly is cleaner than New York City. I'm gonna stand on that.
Wow,
I'm a,
would you believe that neither New York or Philly are nowhere on the top 15?
who's number one? Is it
St.
Detroit?
Louis,
St. Louis? Oh, that makes sense.
then Detroit, then Baltimore, then Memphis, Tennessee, which I did
Dude,
not know.
dude, Memphis is a problem. Like, for a minute, like Memphis was like the murder capital of the
I did
United
not know
States.
that. And then Little
Yeah,
Rock, Arkansas, which
that's
had no
yeah,
idea
okay,
about.
that's random.
Milwaukee, Rockford, Illinois, Cleveland, Ohio, Stockton,
Fuck
California,
Cleveland.
Albuquerque, New Mexico, Springfield, Missouri,
That makes
Oakland,
sense.
California, Anchorage,
Also makes
Alaska.
sense.
Anchorage, Alaska is
Dude,
like,
so Anchorage is a fucking
what?
another shithole, and it's full of
Really?
dude. It's full of gangs, and you know what's really funny?
What? Who's
Dude,
ganging
yeah,
out in Anchorage,
dude.
dude?
So there are these fucking Alaskan gangs, and what?
What?
Yeah, I'm dead ass. And what they do is like literally they fund their drug empire because like if you live in Alaska, you get like a refund check because of the oil reserves and all that. So like they give it to the citizens. So like you get a free like I think it's like 1,500 2K, and all those guys like do that to fucking buy guns and drugs. So the government basically funds their fucking organization.
What?
Yeah, dude, Eskimos don't fuck around, bro.
The population of Anchorage, Alaska is only 283,000, and
Yeah, and
somehow
it's yeah, they have a shitload of crime.
Anyway, below Anchorage is Lansing, Michigan, New Orleans,
Yeah, Lansing.
Minneapolis,
Yeah,
and Chicago. Chicago's at the bottom of the top, like
bro,
one,
Chicago is
two,
another
three,
fucking
four,
sketch
five.
fest. The gangs in
Chicago's ranked
yeah
number 17.
yeah the gangs in Chicago are a problem.
Or I'm sorry, ranked 20.
Yeah, so number one was St. Louis.
St. Louis.
So the funny thing about St. Louis is, are you familiar? I know you don't watch sports, but you ever seen a logo that looks like a musical note?
Yeah.
That's the St. Louis Blues. But for a while there in St. Louis, if you were wearing a Blues hat, it was affiliated with a gang, because I forget which gang it was, but they would wear like the St. Louis Blues logo, because like the police wouldn't associate like the hockey team with like repping your gang colors, until there were like a bunch of shootings, and this dude was wearing like this inner city dude was wearing like a hockey jersey, and they're like, wait, what the fuck is going on? And then they started to uncover some information. I think it was like it was like a set of Crips that were doing it.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. The world of gangs, buddy, is fucking wild. Um, I'll tell you a quick story. With work. So one day, one day, me and a couple other guys were walking back to our office, and we hear over the announcement that Odinism is now open, for attendance, and we're like, what? And so we go and like look at what the fuck is Odinism? Like, are you like praising the All Father? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? So we pop our head in, white supremacist.
Oh, I mean, I guess I can see that.
Yeah. Well, we didn't think of that. We're like, huh, all right. Yeah, and I like popped my head and they looked at me. I was like, yep, you have a good day, boys. I'm out.
Well, you should have walked in and be like, "What's up, my brothers?"
Yeah, no.
All right, so just to put the pin in it, Philadelphia is ranked number 25.
Where's New York?
Let me see.
Is New York unranked?
No, New York is. Wait. Oh, so they have it. So there's Buffalo, New York is actually 22. New York is 59.
Wow,
So pretty low actually.
Huh? That is interesting.
Why is Buffalo so high?
Because it's the fucking drunkest city in America.
I assumed that
beer cans everywhere and shit.
I assumed all the poor people fucking died in Buffalo in the wintertime when there's 6 feet of snow that they get dumped on.
All the poor people are just Bills fans, and they're just fucking putting each other through tables, fucking wasted.
Yeah, fair.
So we did the Harry Potter stuff, and so after that we went to Barcade, which was a good time.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, Barcade's a good time. I always love Barcade. There's one here in Fishtown, over here in Philly, that I like to go to. So, and anytime that I can go to a Barcade, it's always a good time. We got to go to that one in York, like meet halfway. Yeah. Before he shuts down, but love a good arcade. So after the arcade, we go walking towards the SVA theater. We get our slice of what we thought was Lombardi's, but it was actually Two Brothers. Those sons of bitches.
Yeah. So I want you to know that I went back and watched the One Bite review of that place. Completely different.
Yeah, we got bamboozled.
Yeah,
it was a good slice though. I'm not gonna sit here and shit on Two Brothers because their pizza is actually really good and really cheap. But we didn't get Lombardi's, and so we are owed a debt. We got to get Lombardi's.
Yeah.
So after we get our slice, which is always key to get a New York slice, and in New York City you can find a good slice of pizza almost on any corner. So like you're never gonna really go wrong. But you gotta look out for the top tier stuff. But the One Bite app fucking lied to us. Fuck you, Dave Portnoy. Fix your app. Anyway, then we get to the SVA theater, and as we're walking towards the SVA theater, you have like the little logo from Sacred Symbol showing, and immediately we hear "Stand down," and we're amongst our people.
Oh yeah, I had the Sacred Symbol shirt on. Yeah.
That was such an entertaining show.
Oh, it was phenomenal, dude. Phenomenal. And even Caitlin was entertained the whole time. Yeah. And she wasn't even really into it,
Mm-hmm. Well, she was going to ask a question at the end there. She was going to ask about the moo-moo. Yeah. It was coming. I was hoping they'd call on her.
She has some issues with Colin and his sleeping habits. But I was about done by the time Sacred rolled around because I couldn't sleep that night. I was up playing Rebirth all night on my PS Portal. So I was fucking tired, dude. And then we had to drive home afterwards. But yeah, let's dive into Sacred. What did you think? a good show?
I had a
Did you enjoy it?
blast. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I really enjoyed I enjoyed the show from start to finish. It started with the Iron Lords podcast, which was fun.
Hmm.
I thought them opening the show was a good time, and then just the Jeopardy was a good time. That was fun. Especially when I didn't know Johnny Knoxville was fucking the mod.
Yo,
I like still like don't believe that. I'm still so fucking skeptical of that.
you know what's funny though is that I was watching YouTube the other day, and that piece of trivia came up,
Yeah.
and just like randomly, like a random coincidence on like a what or not a what culture, a Watch Mojo like list, and I was like, wow, damn, wouldn't you know it?
Yeah, I feel like you would. I know that now, but I would still get that question wrong, like in a week.
Yeah,
But yeah, that was probably the moment of the show because like literally the audience was like, "What the fuck?" Like,
just natural entertainers, dude. The Secret Symbols is so good, and head and shoulders above like any of the other gaming podcasts out there. I think
well,
just
yeah, just because they're
very much.
authentic.
Yeah.
They're genuinely who they are, and they're not like this PC. We don't want to. Not that they offend anybody. I don't really think they say anything actually wildly offensive, to be honest. But like they don't apologize for who they are. They don't apologize for their views. Not that they have any views that are fucking ridiculous or anything like that, but overall they're just good dudes. They're like
Hmm.
entertaining guys, and they're genuine and honest people. And I think if you're relatable to your audience, and your audience could like, I could see myself having a beer with these guys,
Yeah.
then like that's kind of you kind of have a special thing where you look at like Kind of Funny and even like Rooster Teeth, RIP, and all these other fucking publications that like do stuff, and like you can tell a lot of it's so fucking forced, and you're fucking running your mouth off about shit that like you debatably don't even believe in, and like then I don't know, I just feel like they are very inauthentic, and their content is very vanilla. It's all very similar.
Hmm.
So it's just like, why would I want to? I don't want to hear like-minded people that agree with each other all the fucking time like talk. I want to see some discourse and people who have like differing opinions than me. Like one of the differing opinions me and Colin have, like all of them. Like I love Blink 182, right?
Hmm.
And then they continuously shit on Blink 182. I'm like, you guys are fucking wrong.
You
Or
know,
fucking these idiots with their fucking ketchup argument, or fucking what?
I will say I didn't like Blink 182's new album. I thought it sucked.
Buddy, I love
I'm
their new
sorry.
album, but for me, it's see. Did you grow up with Blink 182? Like, were you
Yeah.
okay? So for me, like, I don't know. I just feel like that album is like the perfect amount of like 30-year-old angst that like I don't know. I just feel like I grew up with like that album's like the album I needed in my 30s. Like I don't know, or my early 30s, early to mid 30s. uh, so that was fun. You know that guy they kept talking about, kept yelling, "Kill him."
Yeah, those are
He was
behind
a
us.
row behind us.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to turn on dude. He kept yelling at me. I was like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it was funny like the first time. Then he just kept saying it. And I was like, all right, I'm over it now.
Yeah. So overall, that show was a blast, and then getting home and all that was pretty quick and easy for me. I felt bad for you. You had to fucking drive. I'm like,
Yeah,
ooh.
it was rough. Once the show was over, I was pretty much done. Right, like I was exhausted. So I was surprised though that I actually like once I got on the road and I was like locked in. It wasn't too bad. I was able to get home and not be so tired. So
So now you gotta tell me, how do you manage these like long stretches of no sleep? You have to have a technique. There has to be a technique there.
well, no, I don't have a technique. I
Get the
basically
fuck
just
out of here.
I basically
Really?
just go until my body collapses from exhaustion. Like, and I never know when that's gonna be either. Like, because if I try to force myself to sleep, I can't do it, and I'll just sit there and I'll just lie awake and toss and turn and can't shut off my brain. But like earlier in the week, I think it was Monday, I got off of work and I was supposed to go to see my sister who was in from North Carolina for Easter, and I came home, sat down, passed out until like 9 o'clock. I was like, hey, sorry, like I sat down and just fell asleep. Sorry, my bad. But that's just how it is. I'll fall asleep whenever, and it's annoying, but it's just the way it is. Because now that Caitlin's on day shift, on our days off, I'll try to stay up on my first day off to spend time with her. And yeah.
Yeah, it's very admirable. I can respect that. See, me when I used to work overnights, sleep was like paramount to me. So like when I would get home from work, I used to work 11 to 7.
Hmm.
So when I would get home from work, I'd go straight to bed, literally straight to bed. I'm like, I gotta sleep, and then I'd wake up at like, so I'd sleep from like 8 to 4
Hmm.
mostly, and then I'd wake up at 4, kind of hang out till 7 ish, and then take another nap till 10, and then go to work for 11. And then on my off days, like you used to stay up all night. I'm like, I can't fucking do that. Like I'll fucking go nuts. I used to just have a normal schedule, then try to go to bed. So I used to always have to like, especially on my first day off, I would like just sleep normally. And then on my second one, I would try to
Hmm.
stay up. But yeah, it was just like I can't do this anymore. I don't know how you've been doing it for as long as you have, and not like have an
It's
addiction to energy drinks.
honestly, it's really starting to wear on me. Like I've told my work several times now that like I'm pretty much done. Like you guys got to
Yeah,
figure this out because I can't do it anymore.
yeah, your body just like rejects it. You're just like,
Yeah.
and no matter what, people were like, and the number one thing I hated when people said, "Oh, you work overnight, you have all day off." No, the fuck you don't, because you got to sleep, man.
Yeah.
And you're always tired. You will literally always be tired. It's just constant exhaustion because your
Yep.
body's like, we are not supposed to be the fuck awake right now.
Yeah.
And if you do fuck around on your day, a day you got to work, like let's say you fucking, oh, family's coming in, yeah, let me get a little sleep and I'll stay up and hang out with family. Then this used to always drive me nuts. Like, you know that time of the day where you start wanting to wind down. It's like that 6:30 to 7:30 window where if you got company, unless you guys are hanging out all night, you want them to go the fuck home, and like you just want to sit on the couch or lay in bed and just kind of chill, unwind, and then get ready to kind of like go to bed for the night or watch a movie before bed or a show or play a game. Like it's just that chill window. And then it hits you, you got to go to work. And it's like,
Well,
I,
that's because you wouldn't switch your days. You
I
see,
couldn't.
like, I mean,
I
like
couldn't do it.
that's the thing. I mean, you could do it, Pedro. You could do it.
No.
You just didn't want to. You could do it.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Don't.
Yeah.
Now I
It,
still have that problem on like Monday that like 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock hits on a Sunday. I'm like, fuck.
yeah. I don't know. I just just live. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Caitlin throws a fit at me all the time because I don't get much sleep, and I'm like, well, it is what it is. I'll sleep when I'm
Yeah,
dead.
yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. You'll definitely sleep when you're dead. But most of us are starting to get a little concerned about your sleep schedule.
I
For the
don't know.
record. So putting a little bow on Sacred 300. I want to go to the next one if it's somewhere we can get to.
I think the next one's gonna be in Europe, so I don't know about that.
Oh yeah, no, I'm out. I only stay in America, GA Joe.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I would love to go overseas, but not for a podcast. Love you, sacred guys, but yeah, not like that. So getting into the meat and potatoes. Uh, let's talk about our friends at Square, and they are a company that we routinely would criticize, and they would usually get a lot of vitriol from us for various misgivings and misconducts, and they've done it because they've done a lot of stupid shit over the years. They've done a
Hmm.
lot of stupid shit over the years, but we always here at the Alpha Nerd Podcast believe in giving credit where it is due. And are we ready to declare Square Enix back? Are we
Yeah.
back?
I mean, I was ready to declare Square Enix back when 16 dropped and it was a banger, dude.
Yeah.
I was ready. I was ready to
Yeah.
declare Square Enix back like a year ago. I mean, Final Fantasy 14's been killing it. They sold off all their Western stuff that they have been focusing on forever that did nothing. And Final Fantasy 7 remake and rebirth were phenomenal.
Yeah.
Um, they're back, buddy. We're in. They're back.
Yeah. And I was like, literally, as I've been playing Rebirth, and we'll get into Rebirth later, but I was sitting there like, holy fuck, Square. Like, this is what we're used to seeing. Like, we're in a renaissance right now. They make great 2D RPGs and turn based RPGs. Those are
Yep.
phenomenal. they don't like they haven't fucked up a Final Fantasy in probably about a decade now.
Yeah, I guess 15 did come out forever that long ago.
Yeah, he's like I stuck that in there,
Yeah.
huh? And then like I just feel like they restored so much quality to their work. Now, I am concerned, not against them, but I got eyes because I feel like the next big one for them is Kingdom Hearts whenever that slides out.
Oh yeah, fuck Kingdom Hearts. We don't talk about that.
So yeah, so I'm a little concerned about like what that's gonna look like because I feel like they've got a lot of positive momentum. I feel like they're in their Capcom phase where they're like everything's a hit, everything's fucking all firing on all cylinders. Like even the 16's got great DLC coming soon. I've heard nothing but good things about that DLC.
Yep.
So I'm
We'll
like
talk about that.
the vibes are fucking immaculate. The vibes are fucking immaculate right now.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think could fuck up the vibes? How do they fuck this up?
Mm, they make some sort of bad PR move, but like as far as they don't have anything coming up that's like terrible, right? I mean, I think we're all expecting Kingdom Hearts 4 to blow, so I'm not really about that. Kingdom Hearts 3 ruined Kingdom Hearts for me. Um, yeah, I don't know.
See,
Final Fantasy.
for me, we were done at Dream Drop Distance. Sorry to cut you off, but
No,
that
no, we weren't. No, we weren't. You were all about Kingdom Hearts 3 when it
they put in
launched.
time travel, man.
Yeah, I know, but you were all about Kingdom Hearts 3 when it launched. We all
Well, yeah,
were,
because
and
we all were, and then it ruined. Well,
then it
specifically Robert's life, but it
fucking
definitely.
broke us.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a little concerned about that, but I'm really excited for to get back into 14 after I finish Rebirth
Hmm.
because you fucking I know what you did. You fucking sprinkled in that fucking 9 references that are going to be in. I'm like, oh
Well, yeah. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
I like he, they sure have said that the Final Fantasy
I
14
know.
Dawn Trail is going to be connected to 9, and he won't
Oh
say what.
man.
He won't say how.
Yeah. I got to get in there. Like I have to get in there.
And we got to fight
'Cause
Kefka. I'm still waiting for you to fight
I
Kefka with
know.
me.
I know. I think I'm almost at level. You got to be like what level 70 to fight him or 80.
Yeah, 70.
Oh, yeah, so I think I was level 69, not to make jokes, but I think that was my final level.
But you
Uh,
gotta you gotta beat Stormblood, and then you
hmm,
gotta do the raid storyline, and then Kefka comes in at some point. I don't
hmm,
remember exactly when.
okay. What was I gonna say? I was really enjoying my time at 14, and I'm excited to go back. Uh, Stormblood was really fun too, like the
Hmm.
story, and the main villain is interesting to me. So I feel like I've got this like nice morsel waiting for me when I get done with Rebirth that I can just kind of casually play. I don't have to like sit there and fucking um put a ton of effort in. I feel like I could just casually play like an hour or two and I'd be done with it. But yeah, so I'm excited for that. I will fucking cry tears of joy whenever they like announce this 9 remake. Because I don't know if it's going to get the Final Fantasy 7 remake treatment. I'd
No,
be shocked. I'd be stunned. But if they're going to but then I'm curious about what they're going to do because like they already put out 9 on everything else. It's been remastered technically. Like like they upresed everything, and like it's on every modern platform. So I'm like maybe. So I don't know. I don't know what they would do. Like what they would do to
I
modernize it
am
more.
I am of the mind that Final Fantasy 9 doesn't really need remade, to be honest with you. And like I mean I don't know. I haven't finished 9. We got like halfway through it, I think, before you moved and we
Hmm.
didn't get to finish it. Um but it seemed to me like it held up still very well.
Oh god, yeah,
Whereas, like, I don't think Final Fantasy VII does. Like Final Fantasy VII looks very dated. Final Fantasy IX is, in my opinion, a game that looks like a PS2 game on the PS1. It
yeah.
looks phenomenal.
Hmm.
Um, so I don't know.
And you know what's crazy? Like out of the 3 PS1 Final Fantasy, granted, 7 gets its flowers, and I think it deserves it. Like now that I'm like older and have I can look back on what 7 was and what it meant, and, like the way it's written. Like they did a really good job. That's literally the most iconic Final Fantasy. I don't think anyone could argue that and like
Yeah,
to be taken seriously. But I feel like 9 out of the 3 of them is like the most complete one. And granted, it should be. It was literally the third fucking go at it.
Yeah, I mean, but what do you mean complete?
Like it just like they went back to traditional like a fantasy setting in a way, and just like the music and the stories, like it was a classic Final Fantasy story. So I just felt like it was the swan song on that console for Final Fantasy before we jumped into all the fucking CG and the graphics and everything that will come later. And I don't know, it's just like this because like the story like compared to 7 isn't like seven story is way more interesting, but nine stories just nice and cohesive. It's actually pretty sad. But the characters are memorable and likable. So there's just a lot of good things about that game, and for me, like it has such special place for me. So if they remade that, I would like probably like have a little gangster tear because like I feel like 9 doesn't really get talked about like at all.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't get much love. Um, but that new class in 14 is straight up Zidane's class.
So is it a thief? Because he's a thief.
It's called like a Reaver, I think, or something like that.
Okay.
But he's got the
Yeah.
dual blades, and he can combine
Nice.
them. And
Yeah. Zidane or Zidane. I don't. They change up his pronunciation. I think it's Zidane.
yeah, I don't know.
But dude, he was my favorite Final Fantasy character for fucking years.
Yeah,
Um, so I would love to see that. How do you feel? Do you think they'll ever even touch 8 again? Because I feel like 8, you could get away with remaking 8,
I don't know.
and I
I don't see anybody talk about 8 ever.
never.
No.
But I think if you say 7 has an age well, like I think you can kind of apply some of those same things to 8, where I think you could remake 8 and do it some justice.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely could, but I don't think like I really don't see anybody talk about Final Fantasy 8, or if they do, it's in a negative light because um people don't like the story. Like they made this
Yeah,
whole theory just to make the story make sense.
yeah.
People don't like the mechanics of 8,
Oh,
and the level scaling, and it just
yeah.
that game is a very weird mess, I think.
Yeah, so that's why I think if you could give it like the fucking crisis core treatment, get it in there. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe.
Like I feel like that's the one. If you were gonna remake one, like not do what remake did, where like they deviated from some shit, but if you would do a 1-to-1 remake, I think it would be that game. Like I don't know. That's
Maybe.
just my
Yeah.
opinion. When do you think When do you think they get ballsy and do Chrono Trigger?
When they have an emergency.
See, we thought that was 7. Like we thought 7 was break
No.
in case of emergency break class.
7 was just a game 7 was a game they needed to do to please the fans. Like people wouldn't shut the
Yeah.
fuck up.
Do you remember that era where we didn't want to hear about from you from Square unless it was Final Fantasy 7 remake?
Yeah.
It's so funny the eras of Square Enix we've been through. Like
Yep.
obviously we had the golden years and then the dark days. How long do you feel like the dark days lasted? A decade?
A
Okay.
decade, yeah.
Now what's your timeline? Like 08 to basically 2020 or
Um whenever I'm gonna say the dark days start when Final Fantasy 12 releases. Because
so we're at 06 or
yeah, they had like famous development troubles with Final Fantasy 12. And after that, Square tries to go way more modern. They try to attract the modern audience. The whole Final Fantasy 13 trilogy is a fucking mess. So I'm comfortable saying whenever, like, you could even go back to probably '05 and be like, all
yeah.
right, Final Fantasy or Square Enix is in trouble.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that because 12, like a lot. I have a different relationship with 12. Like I hated 12 like almost everyone else did until I played it as an adult. I was like, oh, I fuck with 12. I just don't like Van.
Yeah,
But yeah, I could see that because pre that like you had 10 that people liked, and then you had Kingdom Hearts that people liked, and then I feel like right after Kingdom Hearts 2, we started going downhill. And then we just
yeah,
had a decade. So like 15 years really if you go from '05, because then like '05 '06 was 12, and then '08 was not 9 13, and then the 13 series, and then or the Fabula Novela Crystallis, what if you want to call it. But then when we came out of it in 2020 with remake and then them redoing 14, we started to come out, and then we jumped back in because they fucked up Secret of Mana and they fucked up, what was it, Chrono Cross?
yeah. Chrono Cross was rough.
Yeah, they royally fucked up Chrono Cross. So yeah, it was up and downs, and I think now we've gotten consistency. So it's really cool to see. But you know what I do want them to do?
But
I would love to see them do a new RPG, like a new IP, like because I love Square Enix, like as a developer and a publisher and all that.
mhm.
Like I have genuine love for them. But like I'm starting to get like the Nintendo vibes, where like you're just yeah. Again, I'm not complaining. It just I would like to see something new. Where in the PS1 era, we were getting Xenogears and Vagrant Story and just other things from them, like Parasite Eve. Like give us something new. I think we really need something new from Square.
Well, isn't that like Final Fantasy 16?
Yeah, but like it's still Final Fantasy, which I love Final Fantasy. I will always buy Final Fantasy. That's never I'll never not buy Final Fantasy, but you don't. I mean, maybe it's just me. Like, I just would love something just new, like just a new RPG, kind of like what Atlas is doing with that new game. That's like kind of like a blend of Persona and Shin Megami Tensei, just a new pillar.
Yeah, I mean, I
I'd,
guess
I'd be open to it. Like, it's not
because
necessary, but
Square
like,
is making new games though. Like they're just not making like large scale like new games. They're constantly making like smaller games.
oh yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Like, so for example, if like they did something like not like when they were doing like Bravely Default and like they're talking like Project Triangle Strategy and which is a terrible name by the way, Octopath. So they have done stuff like that, but like you said, they were smaller games. But like I want a new RPG franchise that has that Square Enix fucking you know production and I don't know. I just feel like it would be cool to see something new. But that's just my opinion.
I just don't know what you're talking about. Like, do you not? You don't agree that Final Fantasy 16 is like new?
Yeah, the gameplay style, absolutely. Like I think that's fresh and it's awesome. I just again, it's still a Final Fantasy game though, so like you're
Yeah, but they're
still
not.
getting like they stay. So the point I'm making is like it's similar to what Nintendo does. So anytime like Nintendo will come up with like a new idea, they'll just slap Mario in there. Like so think of like Mario Sunshine. Not that these are comparable games, just the concept of it. So like Mario Sunshine, they stuck a fucking water gun on him, and boom, Mario Sunshine. Where Final Fantasy 16 is essentially a Devil May Cry game because it's from the same guy, but it's got that Final Fantasy fucking that Final Fantasy shine to it, where and the writing and all that. So it's a Final Fantasy game mixed with Devil May Cry, which is cool. It's awesome, but it's still Final Fantasy. Like
They're,
I would
but
just,
but the Final Fantasy games aren't similar at all,
but
really.
they're not supposed to be.
Exactly. So how? So say it didn't. If that game wasn't called Final Fantasy, it would be no. It could be no different. There's
Yeah,
nothing Final Fantasy that like attaches itself to it,
I
other than
see. I
like
think I
chocobos, I
like
guess.
chocobos and terminology, and again, like it's one of the numeral games, so it's still like you're still getting Final Fantasy. Where I don't know. Like I said, I just feel like for me, like kind of like how like we discover trails and all we get is trails now from Falcom. But then like if you want to fuck with something different, you get East. Like just something a little different, like sprinkle different in there for me.
I saw Yoshi P was talking about making a new Final Fantasy Tactics game. He just did in an interview. So I'm
Yeah, I
cool with
feel because
that.
I feel like they need to get in there. I mean, I'm always gonna be a Fire Emblem guy, but I think if Square remade Final or not remade, made a new Final Fantasy Tactics, I think I'd be in there.
Oh yeah, the first one's great. I love the first one.
Yeah, or I'm trying to. Yeah, I feel like the biggest examples of what I'm trying to say is like Atlas and Falcom do it. Like especially Falcom. So we get their three pillars. We get the Legend of Heroes, and then we get East, and then we're getting another Tokyo Xanadu. So just like again, just little different flavors. But
I mean,
yeah,
I guess I just don't see the same because their series are connected. They're not the series are connected, but like the games in those series are connected.
sure.
Whereas the Final Fantasy games are not connected whatsoever. They're essentially completely different games.
Yeah, but they share elements like summons and items and all that other shit. Like
I guess
I don't know.
the things that we love about
yes, yes,
RPGs.
yes. I will say the fucking summons recently in these couple Final Fantasy games have been fucking great. Even 15, I love the summons. So yeah, we've been doing
15
great
summons
work.
were a little nuts.
Okay, I feel like the 16 ones are the most nuts, but the 15 ones were at the time
I'm
the
trying
most
to
ridiculous.
remember how the summons worked in 16.
You remember in 16, it was basically like when you were the dominant of whatever you became that fucking.
Oh yeah, well that wasn't. They weren't like they were like yeah they were like used specifically in like summon versus summon battles. But in like 15, if you started to like almost die, you summon this god out of the sky that just one
Awesome.
shots everything. Yeah,
Fucking
like
best.
yeah,
But I get tired of PP whacking 15, but this is always my biggest gripe with him. The way we never got Bahamut. Like you never got like everyone
yeah,
loves fucking like come on.
yeah. How could you do that?
Yeah, like that. Oh, that fucking game. But anyway, so um, just to put a bow on this, I think they do Chrono Trigger within the next 5 years. That's what I'm saying. That's my take.
Oh, okay.
And I just feel like with Toriyama dying, like I feel like it's would be the perfect time,
Maybe.
or for Dragon Quest 12 to be revealed with something. Like I don't know what. Remember they were gonna like make it dark or what the fuck they were gonna do with that.
They did add in some extra lines of dialogue in the Chrono Cross remaster, so
Oh.
yeah, they added in like a little extra
Mm.
sprinkle of
Oh fuck!
plot.
Speaking of Chrono Cross or not, or just the Chrono franchise. Remember when Square? This is back when Square couldn't do anything right. They would fuck up left and right. But remember when they made that Final Fantasy DLC, the 13 one? They named it Chrono something, and people flipped the
Oh
fuck.
yeah, I did. I was like, "You fucking cunts! Are you kidding me?"
That was like my favorite thing ever. Like they had such a negative relationship with their fans. They said the word Chrono, and they're like, oh
Yeah,
no, we done fucked up.
yeah. Well, and also because that DLC was like notoriously bad because it held the real ending to Final Fantasy 13 2 in it.
Yeah, which is fucked up.
Yeah,
Can you even get that ending anymore?
I'm assuming. I mean,
Is
I'm
I
not. I'm
guess the
not.
PS Store's still up. Not that I'm looking to do that, but yeah, I don't know. So shout out to Square Enix. We see you. We are happy that you're back. Welcome back. It's been a long time. It's like your friend. Well, actually, I've never had a friend go to jail. But if I did have a friend go to jail for like 15 years, I'd be really excited for them to come home. Like, hey, buddy, I'm glad you changed. I'm glad you've been rehabilitated. And
You know what? Like, here's what I'll say. I have felt like if I ever felt that those classic Final Fantasy vibes, I could always in the last decade reliably go to 14 and get them.
okay, yeah, that's fair.
That's it 14's such a cozy game to me that that's where I get my classic Final Fantasy vibes from.
Okay,
And you're about to go into some of the best Final Fantasy content that's ever been made right now.
yeah,
So,
I'm excited about that. I will check back in when I start
because
that.
the post patches of Stormblood and then into Shadowbringers, dude, top notch stuff.
Oh yeah, I do. Like I said, I am loving the story right now. So this will probably be a quick one, but because I don't know if you're big into this next game. Where are we at with Star Wars Outlaws? Like, I'm probably frozen on it because I don't really like.
It's a Ubisoft game.
That's where I'm like,
Yeah.
ah.
So here's what I will say. I think the gameplay demo that they showed last summer was pretty good, but it's still like that classic. Dude, I feel like their gameplay hasn't evolved since like 2010, right?
Yeah,
Like
that's how
they
it
still
feels.
have like the classic like crouch and like one punch takedown of a bad guy behind them, and it just felt like the same shit we've seen 1,000 times already. And I find Ubisoft's open worlds so lame and like fake and not immersive at all, especially when you compare it to something like Rebirth. Um, and I just the gameplay demo didn't look bad, but it didn't look like anything that was interesting either. Is where I fall on that. You know that's like if you're gonna do it right. Is how I view almost everything,
Yeah.
and I feel like they're putting the gameplay demo. I feel like they're putting like 70% effort into it. You know, that's
Hmm.
just. And dude, I'm also fucking tired of seeing humans in Star Wars. Why can't we get any fucking aliens around here, right?
Yeah.
God damn it. They showed that Acolyte trailer, and I'm like, it's another cast of like 8 or 9 fucking humans and one alien. This is supposed to be a universe packed that
Yeah,
deals with fucking aliens, but because we got to get our fucking inclusive, we got to have the gay one, we got to have the black one, we got to have the fucking, I don't know, black dude, the black girl, the Asian girl. It's like, I'm like, holy fuck! I would rather have a fucking TV show of just all aliens, so you guys can just fucking shut up.
yeah.
And I'm,
I
I'm
feel like that
so
would solve a
over
lot
it,
of our
dude.
problems. Yeah,
Like, God,
yeah.
fuck.
Do you feel like that they keep putting, like you just said, just to make it so everyone feels like relatable?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
Yes. And I'm sick of it because you don't need that. We didn't need that 20 years ago.
yeah, nobody
Like,
give a fuck. Yeah,
dude, the fucking Mexicans love Dragon Ball Z.
hell
There's not
yeah,
a Mexican person in that entire show. Like, why are we doing this? Why do we got to do
yeah.
this, man? God.
I blame Sweet Baby
Hmm.
Inc. Which, not that I want to get totally into that, but like they are fucking what the fuck, man.
Oh, it's just modern Twitter culture where everyone's a victim. They clearly like started this
The
whole bullshit, and then they want just because someone made a list of like things that these people
list,
worked on, and they're like, oh, fuck this dude, cancel him, report him, blah blah blah. They started it, dude. Like
yeah,
they started it, and then they wanted to play the victim. That's what they always do.
yeah, or fucking, Twitter's so bad now that like I remember we talked about like Melanie Mack and like when how she went off the fucking deep end.
I've never
And my
liked Melanie Mac.
well, I didn't really, but she was on Sacred, so I used to follow her just because she was on. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then she just started acting out like just acting a fool,
Yeah.
and that then then so some writer from Kotaku started like wanting to gather a story about her because like
Oh yeah, I saw this Alyssa Mercanti. It's the
yeah,
same one that was like fighting about the Sweet Baby Ink stuff. She was like, "Oh, I want to box Melanie Mac." I'm like, "Bitch, you're about 3 weight classes above Melanie Mac. Why don't you
right,
take it easy?
yeah,
Why don't you
exactly.
box me instead?"
Well, the other thing is she's fucking, oh, I'm gonna criticize that. Like, girl, don't you know like you got to keep your yard clean if you're gonna fucking talk shit about people? Like,
Yeah,
people know you were like a stripper and a sex worker. Like, for the
yeah,
record. Like, so it's like we live in a Twitter universe where fucking strippers and sex workers are fucking of the higher moral ground because they're liberal. I'm like, whoa, what the
yeah.
fuck, man, dude? Kotaku's got to go. They gotta go.
It's gonna be great. I can't wait for these sites to start burning to the fucking ground, and then all
Yeah,
these like journalists can't get jobs anywhere, and they're fucking homeless. They deserve it because
yeah, Kotaku's gotta go.
if they were just cool and cultivated like good communities and related to their fans, they would always have a place to go. But because they have stabbed people in the back and like burnt their fan bases to the grounds and laughed while doing it, thinking they were on a higher moral ground and like threw these people away, they're gonna have nowhere to go. They're gonna have no jobs and no following. So I'm all about it,
Yeah.
dude. I'm all about it. Just like Easy Allies. Burn, dude. Burn to the fucking ground.
Yeah, I feel like they're not in a good spot right now. Yeah,
And
but
thank
they did it to
God.
themselves, like being fucking assholes. Like,
Yep.
ooh, like maybe if you don't run your mouth about people, and because like somebody had a friend on a podcast that you clearly knew was going to happen, like you clearly knew about this. It wasn't like a fucking surprise. Dustin was on a show with Brandon at the time, and like then when there was fucking backlash, you go like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
like shut up, fucking
Dude,
easy
also,
allies."
by the way,
Especially you, fucking Bloodworth, you fucking loser.
also, that Sacred Symbols episode when Colin rants about that and like rips them apart.
Yeah,
Top 10 Colin Moriarty moment. I was listening to that and I was like, oh shit. Fucking burn them to the ground. And apparently that was the censored version we got. Apparently he
yeah,
cut out a lot of that.
yeah, because like it's fucking bullshit. Like it was total bullshit. And when you just keep running people's names into the ground, like fucking like the shit they say about Colin, and then like people who work with Colin is like fucking wild.
Yeah, I know.
Like fucking wild. Like, and then there's people who like even like Gene gets a lot of hate on Twitter, a lot of fucked up hate, where like people are like, oh, that's why you had cancer, pussy. I'm like, dude, really? Like that you fucking tweeted that?
And you know, one thing I respect about Gene Park though is that he is
Don't clap back.
always willing to like
Don't
slug
clap
it out.
back.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, he's like, oh, is this what we're doing? I got nothing to do better to do tonight. Like, let's go.
Yeah, and it's but like fucking like how do you I don't know. It's crazy because like you and I grew up at the advent of social media. Like we
Yep.
were literally boots on the ground. Like I had a MySpace when that was cool. I started a Facebook when that was cool.
Yep.
And I will 100% admit to saying stupid shit on Facebook. Like I've definitely said stupid shit. But like never in a million years have I said like some of the wild shit that people do to like some of these like um internet personalities. And like in the sports world it's even worse. Like somebody was literally fucking DMing the wife of the shortstop of the Mets, or like, you better tell your husband to learn how to fucking hit, or I'm gonna come kill your kids. Like, dude,
Holy
really?
fuck!
Yeah, like, and then like when these guys get reported, like the FBI who knocks on your door, which they will, if you like threaten an athlete, like you'll get a knock on your fucking door. Hey, did you say this? Are you gonna act on this? Like that's what they'll do. Yeah, but like, I
This
don't
is
know, man.
why when I become president, the only sport that's going to be allowed is MMA.
Did you
You can
see?
take
Speaking of,
those
speaking of
sports to
MMA,
communist countries.
speaking of MMA, did you see there was the it was, I think it was a skit, but there was this I forget the Twitter handle, but they were taking like MMA fighters to people's doors and saying like, "Oh, you said you could beat him up," and they put the fighter right there. I think it was, I forget which,
No,
but yeah, they should do shit like that. Like, "Oh, you're gonna fuck him up? All right, let's get him at your door. Here he is. Do something." You know how many people would do literally nothing?
no, 100%,
So yeah,
100%, dude.
yeah. So message from Alpha Nerds here. Shut the fuck up on Twitter. Don't be a piece of shit. Really not hard.
Yeah,
So
punk ass. She's a punk
yeah,
ass. She's trying to
yeah.
get
I mean,
publicity for herself.
yeah, against Melanie Mac of all fucking people, who's
Yeah,
another punk ass. But
yeah.
moving on. So Xbox.
Another L for the green community, dude. Another L for the greenies.
It's just like we we talk about Xbox all the time, and it's literally the same fucking thing. Where they're like, how do they fuck this up? How do they do like why? So they recently announced that Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, which by the way, like I feel like they've been acting real weird with that game like, all of a sudden.
I think it's gonna suck. I think that's why they're being weird with it.
Yeah, like, but how? But anyway, like
This Xbox.
they recently announced that Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is going to run at 30 frames per second on Xbox Series X and Series S, and they feel like it'll make the game look more cinematic.
Well, no, so so okay.
I think that's
Here's what I
actually
will say.
true, but
That is a legitimate thing. So did you
yeah,
know that movies are shot in like 24 frames a second?
yes,
Okay. They did this with Alan Wake. That game was designed around 30 frames a second because it seems more cinematic.
yeah,
And when you put it to 60 frames a second, it didn't seem right. Also, on a side note, I have WrestleMania on the background, and The Rock is walking out with a championship belt, and it just says "The People's Champion" on it, and I'm
that's
like,
actually awesome.
that's fucking awesome.
I forgot he came back. Yeah,
Yeah, that's like it's like super. It's a super cool belt too. Anyway, yeah. So 30 frames a second is more cinematic. It's what we're used to. It's why shows on like television don't look the same quality as movies because they are shot in 60 frames a second.
yeah.
So, and it's why The Hobbit, by the way, also looked so weird upon release because they put 60 frames a second with it.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, so
take
I
it that way
agree.
you will.
I agree. I agree. It'll make it look more cinematic, but the no performance mode option
Yeah, they
has
should give
got
you the option to switch.
it's got people in a tizzy. People are not
Yeah,
happy, and this is
yeah,
why we say another Xbox L, because this is an unforced L. Like all you had to do is just put it in there and leave it to people to not use it. Like so for Rebirth, I'm playing on quality mode. Like I'm playing
same.
on like I want to see my fucking ray tracing. I want to see my fucking and it runs fucking perfectly fine,
Same. I
buttery
was
smooth.
all 100% in on going performance mode when I started the game, and then I'm like, damn, this game is beautiful. I want to see as good as it can get.
Yeah,
And I switched to
it's
quality and played through quality the entire time.
yeah, it's great. It's complete. Like, and there's no reason. I mean, I guess if you're a fucking performance slut, but if you like the visuals and like you don't really give a fuck about like it running in 60 frames, like when you run it in 30, it's such a gorgeous game.
Yep.
The Witcher's the same way. See, God of War is different because I feel like I got to run that in 60. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I just feel like you got to give people the option though. So yeah, Xbox. Like I don't really want to spend a ton of time on it, but I just thought it was funny that they are just getting fucking raked over the coals, and they just keep creating L's for themselves, and now they're being real weird with Hellblade, and they haven't really talked about it much. Like I feel like they're being very like I don't know,
They really haven't shown any
coy
gameplay.
with it. Yeah,
By
no
the way,
gameplay.
I feel like Fable's the same way. I feel like
Oh,
Fable's going to be a turd as well. And
yeah.
they're acting the same way about Fable. So
Well, they fucked up Fable on site. Like
yeah,
they were like, "Oh yeah, Fable. Let's make the game about fables." Uh, like
I
what?
think you misunderstood the assignment here, fellas.
Just when I saw that, I was like, "Huh." All right, I
Yeah,
think no
as a
one at any.
Fable, as a Fable the Lost Chapters fan, my life has been in a constant state of hell.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like, how? Like, did no one look back and be like, "Hey, what are the other Fable games like?" Oh, they did that. Got it. No, let's make a Fable game about fables.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the new style. Let's
great.
huh. let's make people wish for Peter Molyneux to come back. Oh man, God damn it, Xbox. They're gonna. I feel like. Do you think they're gonna be around in 10 years? Like, do you think they're gonna be in the console
Oh, the
market? No,
brand will be
fuck no.
around. I don't think it's going to be the same kind of company though. I think they'll
No.
probably be just a publisher,
Yeah, they'll be an app. That's what they're gonna be. Like Game
like
Pass is
Game
gonna be an
Pass.
app.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll just be
So
Game Pass. I
oh,
think.
they'll just turn into Steam. Speaking of which, did you see they're trying to get Steam on consoles? By the way,
No, I didn't see that.
yeah,
That'd be
there's been
sick.
like that would be sick, but it's Microsoft, so they'll fucking find some way to fuck it up. So yeah, so shout out to Microsoft. Keep taking those L's, but they do take a Lipkin and keep on ticking. Also, where the fuck with Sony? Um, I feel like they need a state of play at some point. Like we got to have
I
something.
don't know. I don't know where we're at with with this because they have not been talking, and I feel like it's a new strategy for them, and I don't like it. But we'll see what we get this summer because I would really like to. I would really like to get like a big event this summer from
Yeah.
Sony where they're like, all
Well,
right, here's what's
do you
coming.
are we in on PS5 Pro if it's a thing?
I am, dude. I'm fucking
Yeah,
all in.
that's
And it's definitely a thing. We got like the whole spec sheet of it. And because I've always felt since Jump Street that the regular PS5 has been underpowered. They undercooked it.
yeah.
So
It came out at such a weird time too. Like I feel
yeah,
like had they just waited, we probably would have been fine with PS4 for like another couple of years
yeah.
or a year or two. But yeah, I mean, I'll probably be in there day one, depending on like price point. As long as it's like, I think my max is $600. I would be willing to pay. I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know if it'd be quite that much, but
Oh, I think it's gonna be more than 600.
do you think it?
That dude, the GPU is like 3 times as powerful.
So what's the max you're willing to pay on it?
Grand.
Fuck that. Yeah, no way.
Why? We paid fucking $1,200 for our cell phones.
Yeah, but like not in one shot. I mean, like I could do it, but I wouldn't be very happy about it. I mean, that's a lot of dough to me. But yeah, I'd probably be. You could probably still talk me in at 7, but a grand is a little
Listen,
much.
dude. I listen. I want a premium experience when I play my games now. I'm willing to pay a premium amount of money for a premium experience.
Yeah, but
That's where I'm at.
at that point I'll just buy another fucking PC. Like fuck.
PC gaming's not where it was 10 years ago, though. That's the thing. Is that PC games are coming out in a constant state of like being broken and having to do workarounds and fuck, you get a better experience on your Steam Deck now than you do with your PC. Almost
I
every PC port is fucking broken.
That's fucked up. I remember like famously the one I remember is like they fucked up Arkham City or Arkham
Arkham
Knight.
Knight,
Yeah,
yeah.
where they fucking royally fucked out and just never fixed it. Like, yeah, no.
No, they pulled it down and never re-released it.
They're like, nah. I'm like, nah.
They never. They're like, fuck,
Mm-mm.
we're canceling that plan.
Nah, fuck that. Ain't happening.
Yep.
So now getting into the underbelly. So I put in here in the underbelly. We're gonna recap last generation and some of our favorite memories and games. So I'll bat lead off on this. So I feel like last generation, and the way we're going to encompass this is we're going to talk about PS4, obviously, Xbox One. See, with Nintendo, it's a little weird because it's a weird generation for them because it was like Wii U, Switch, 3DS, Wii U. It's kind of like this blend of fucking. Ugh. So we'll sprinkle them in wherever they need to be sprinkled in. But this generation is probably my all-time favorite one, specifically for Sony, because it was fucking Sony was out for blood,
Hmm.
and it started off at E3 when Microsoft, being Microsoft, started with their fucking DRM and fucking always online, and you needed like you couldn't have used games. There were all this discourse, and then what Sony did was like, yeah, nah, we don't have to do this. How do you lend someone a game? You just fucking take your game and hand it to your buddy. And I feel like from that moment, it's been nothing but fat fucking L's for Microsoft.
Yeah, they did like irreparable damage to Microsoft. And you know what? Microsoft could have recovered from that, but they chose not to. And I think that's really interesting looking back as well. But yeah, go ahead. Give
Yeah.
me your PS4 recap.
So with the PS4, it came out, I believe, 2013. I was living in my first apartment at the time, my first like adult apartment on my own. And I remember me and my buddy Matt on launch day. We went to the midnight launch. Remember midnight launches?
Yep.
And we
Where did
picked
you get
up our
yours at?
Shamokin GameStop. So I had mine pre-ordered for months and paid it off. Like I had bought it with, excuse me, I got Killzone Shadowfall. I got Battlefield. I forget which one it was. Battlefield 4. I think it was Battlefield 4. And then NBA 2K. Like those are the three games I got. And I remember, I go and pick it up, bring it home, unpack it, and then I put in Killzone Shadowfall. And this game, like, you could see the jump.
Yeah, yeah.
The jump was fucking nuts. And like everyone shits on Killzone Shadowfall for being, it's a tech demo. Like, I think it's still a great game. I thought it was one of my favorite Killzone games. Probably like after 2, it's probably my favorite one.
I think it's fantastic until the end.
Yeah, where they fucking skull fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, I play Killzone Shadowfall, love it. Then, I fooled around with Battlefield. I didn't really like Battlefield, but I've never been a Battlefield guy. And the 2K game was fun, but mostly I played Killzone Shadowfall. And then I felt like, because I didn't get into Final Fantasy 14 until literally January, because my buddy Justin, shout out to Justin Schminke if you're listening, he messages me, he goes, hey man, we've been playing Final Fantasy a ton, and we need people to play with. You should get a Realm Reborn. I'm like, I've never really played an MMO. You should get a Realm Reborn. So I go and get a Realm Reborn. I buy my fucking paperweight here. I still have it because
I
you
still have
can't do
mine
anything.
too. Yep.
You can't fucking do anything with it. So I have it, and I'm like, all right. I log in. I set up my my Play Online account or whatever the fuck it is now, and I get in there, and so I start messaging him. Hey, can we link up? What's going on? So we link up. He's like, oh, you're not a high enough level to play with us. You got to get to like level 15 before we can play with you. I'm like, all right. So no, so I get to level 15, and then I start playing, get to level 15, and then I get to my first primal, like Ifrit, I think, and then I go, hey, I need somebody to run this with. He goes, yeah, we quit playing. So I was like, sweet. No, so it gets better. I have a really fucked up history with 14. So it gets better. So then I stopped playing 14 for a little bit. Like I think I got to like level 25 with my original character and stopped.
Mhm.
So then another buddy I come into contact with at work. He's like, oh, I play 14. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, would you want to start running shit together? I need to run this primal. He's like, yeah, man, I'll run you through it. So he tells me I need to change servers in order to play with him. So I got to pay the fucking, I forget how much it was at the time. Was it $10 or $15?
I think it's 15. I think it still is.
Yeah, it was $15 to change your fucking server. So I pay the $15, change over, and I messaged him like, hey man, I changed servers. When would you want to start? Doing some runs. He's like, oh, I quit playing. I was like, fuck. So then I just quit Final Fantasy. I'm like, fuck this game, because like I was just like, because this was back in the day where you couldn't really like play it by yourself.
Yeah.
So I kept forgetting to cancel fucking a Realm Reborn. So I paid for like a year of it,
Oh
and
wow.
yeah. So then it just sat on the shelf until you told me to fucking get back into it, and you're like literally the only person I've ever played with. So
So
I've had
yeah,
this paperweight for fucking years.
that it's funny because I played a Realm Reborn on PS3 when it first came out.
Yeah, I didn't even
Like
know it was a
like
thing.
I played it on day one when Realm Reborn launched, and it was a fucking mess for like 2 weeks, and they gave us everyone extra game time and stuff. But um, I didn't know you were playing at all. Actually,
Yeah,
well, were we? Yeah,
yeah, we're
we were
friends.
friends by then.
Yeah,
You must not have told me you were playing or something because
I didn't think to. Yeah.
that's all I played for like the first year or so. I mean, not all I played, but a majority of what I played my PS4 on for the first year because people forget the PS4 didn't have a ton of games its first year.
Oh, buddy, we had a drought.
Yeah, it did. The launch lineup was a banger, but there really wasn't a whole lot for the first year. It was
Yeah,
rough.
dude, it was rough. So, what was your memory of PS4? Like the launch?
Oh, I have like a very famous launch story. If you remember correctly, there's like a really like iconic photo of me being first in line at Best Buy,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and Best Buy has like some weird pre-order rule. You have to have the original receipt,
Oh
and
god.
me and Rochelle both pre-ordered our consoles, and her mom was going to get them for her for Christmas. So her mom was in no rush to pick it up. And I was, of course, there on
Day one.
day one.
Day
Well, I had her receipt instead of mine.
one.
So they tell me this at midnight, right? So she lived all the way up, like in the middle of nowhere. I fly up there, grab her, grab the receipts, fly back, probably the fastest I've ever driven. I drive past a police officer going well over 100 miles an hour, right?
Did you get pulled over?
No, he let me
Oh.
go. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is my destiny.
Huh.
And I was supposed to meet up with Elijah and Chris, and we were gonna play all night. But I didn't end up getting my console until like 1 a.m. And by that time, um, they were like, we're tired. We're gonna get out of here. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. So I drive it home, and then I drive back to Chris's house the next day, and we play through Killzone Shadowfall and play their online mode.
Yeah.
And there's a really good photo of our three PS4s sitting up. And to this day, by the way, that is the PS4 that one Robert Sweely has in his possession.
Oh wow.
That is that PS4 as a launch day PS4. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, some launch memories was just being super disappointed in Shadowfall's ending. That sucks. And not having a whole lot to play. I remember playing Final Fantasy A Realm Reborn a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
me, Austin, and our buddy Blake played the absolute shit out of that. And it was a classic MMO experience back then where like getting to max level was a challenge.
Yeah.
And we were part of like a really, because I was a really hardcore World of Warcraft player back in the day. And what I liked about 14 was its positive environment and how like chill it was and how good the community was and still is, by the way. The community in 14 is phenomenal.
Yeah, and I've never had an issue with anyone on 14, minus
Well,
the one guy
except
who.
for except for that one guy when you and Watson first came back,
That
which
would happen once.
daring move coming back and just jumping into like dungeons and having Watson heal or whatever he was doing.
Funny thing, he was like, "Yeah, I'll run heal." I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah. Anyway,
God."
yeah, me, Austin, and our buddy Blake played Final Fantasy 14 over the summer, like every single day for hours and hours and hours. And then we got into this group, this free company, and he was like, "All right, so here's a schedule. Like, I need you guys on Tuesdays and Thursdays to be like raiders." And they had like a really hardcore raiding schedule and stuff. And at that point, I was like, "No, I'm done." Actually, and that was the last time I played Final Fantasy 14 until I got addicted to it. Me and you lived together.
Yeah, yeah. No, we've told that story before.
Yep. But what else? I don't remember much about playing. The next game I remember playing super hardcore on my PS4 was either GTA or The Witcher 3, and I can't remember which came first.
Wow.
Yeah.
So for me, So there was that drought with PS4. So after I finished Killzone Shadowfall, we didn't get shit
Mhm.
until Infamous Second Son, really.
Oh yeah, I forgot about it for a second, son.
Yeah, which is a great game, great fucking game. Loved Infamous Second Son.
It's okay. It's okay.
Ah,
They should have continued the story of Cole. That's what they should have done.
yeah,
I didn't
I mean, I
I
could
didn't
see
find
that. Yeah.
Delson I didn't find Delson appealing at all
He was just Troy
as a
Baker. Like he
character.
was
Yeah.
just
He was like a little bitch boy. He was annoying.
yeah. I never played the DLC for Fate First Light or whatever it was. I have it. I just never played it.
I never
Um,
played it either.
so so all the vibes are still good. I remember we were so desperate for games. I remember playing Outlast when it came out on PS Plus. Was it Contrast, which I hated that game.
Yep.
Resogun I liked.
Yep. Yep.
Then they came out with Strider, that random fucking remake of
Yep.
Strider that was like a Metroidvania. I remember playing the shit out of that. Actually, so quick side note, really funny thing about Adam, my buddy Adam,
Hmm.
he really doesn't play Metroidvanias, but he loves them, and I know he loves them because whenever he comes over and I'm playing a Metroidvania, I'll let him play, and then I'll go to fucking like walk away or like go to fucking take a shit or something. And I'll come back and he's like, he's gotten us all these different items and all these fucking like he literally he's done it so many times. Like with Strider, he came over the one day and I fell asleep, and then I woke up, he had beaten the game. And
Wow.
then one day when we were doing 2 beers and a whiskey, he came over and he was playing Cave Story on my Switch, and
I remember that.
he got like four of the endings, and I'm like, Adam, you love Metroidvanias. He's like, yeah, but I never play them. I'm like, I don't understand why, because he fucking like he gets this like tunnel vision, or I don't know what happens, but he just gets like in the zone. He does that with Breath of the Wild too. Like he has like a disgusting amount of time on Zelda. I don't know how he does it, but anyway. Um, so we get Infamous Second Son, and then we take our first L of the generation for me. First L, Thief.
Oh yeah. I thankfully was saved by the reviews.
I see. I didn't wait for the reviews because I love Thief, so I was in day one. I was in day fucking one, and I got home. I remember like because when you play Thief, you gotta fucking shut all the curtains, fucking turn the lights off. You gotta get the ambiance right.
Sure.
I remember I get home, and I made sure it was a night my roommate wasn't home. I'm like, fucking, I wanted to be in the living room. Nobody in here. Just fucking, let's go.
Mhm.
And I remember loading it up and playing a couple of hours of it and being like, oh no. It was a janky piece of shit.
Yep.
Janky piece of shit. So that hurt for a while. And we were at a I feel like we were on a drought of just games, specifically games I liked. But they also had announced like Final Fantasy 15 during
Hmm.
that time, and so to heading towards the spring of 20. This is spring 2014. We started to get some games to trickle out, and specifically, there's 3 games that I have really good memories with because, um, I don't know, they're just funny stories, and I have them here. So the first one that came out during that time period was. Do you remember this game?
The Order 1886, a game that
Now,
I've never played.
now people shit on this game. This is one of my favorite PS4 games. One of my
Oh
favorite
wow.
PS4 games. It's I mean it's more or less a tech demo when you really
Hmm.
boil down to it. But I really wish, and it's never gonna happen, but I really wish it would, that Sony would revisit this world and like give them time to like flesh it out and give it the love it deserves because it's a great game.
Yeah, I agree.
Story's great, the world's really cool. But specifically, what I remember about this game and when I picked it up is I had been out drinking the night before, and I was out partying in Lewisburg, and I ended up staying at this girl's house, for some adult activities, and then the next day, hungover as fuck, I had pre-ordered this, and I bought this or pre-ordered this when I was living in Lewisburg at the time,
Hmm.
and so this was before I even moved to Shamokin. So randomly, I forgot I had this pre-ordered at the Lewisburg GameStop. So then I get a phone call. Hey, your pre-order of the Order 1886 is in. If you want to come pick it up, I'm like, oh yeah, fuck. So I pop over to Lewisburg GameStop, pick this up, and drive the fuck back to Shamokin, all hungover. I pick up a fucking pizza because I lived above a pizza place, and then yeah, I fucking played that for the night, and I beat it in a night, which like I love that kind of pissed me off because I was like I thought this game would be longer. And yeah, and it was a blast. And then the other game that came out around the same time was Bloodborne. Now Bloodborne, I feel like I've never beaten Bloodborne. I'm at I think the last area of Bloodborne, and this is what taught me that I'm just not good at Souls games. I'm just not good at them. We're just not good.
No one's good at them.
Yeah, I just like, but they are so fucking rewarding when you meet a boss that's like kicking the shit out of you, kicking the shit out of you, kicking the shit out of you, and then you finally win. You're like, fuck, God, that motherfucker. Like you just, I don't know. It's just like that feeling. Only these games really can create those
Sure,
feelings.
sure.
Um, did you get this at launch? Do you have any memories with it?
Bloodborne, I did get at launch, but you were skipping over an iconic game for me,
Ooh.
which was Middle Earth: Shadow of Mordor. When that
Oh,
came out,
I remember this game. Yeah.
that came out September 30th, 2014, almost a year after the PS4 comes out. Um, and dude, I dove into this game, man, when it came out. I had such a blast playing this. I was all over assassinating orcs, and it's a game that really still holds up today. It has the Nemesis system, which I think is phenomenal. Um, Nothing bad to say about Shadow of Mordor, except for the ending wasn't great. But yeah, I pulled up my trophy list here on my
Mhm.
phone, and there's all kinds of weird games that I played around this time, like Advanced Warfare, Freedom Wars came out on the Vita, and I really loved that. Um, I apparently played Terraria and Dragon's Crown a little bit at this point, and Resistance 2 was there at some point. So, because the PlayStation trophy list goes by the
Yes.
last trophy you earned, so it's not always the first time you played it. It's usually the
Mhm.
last time you played
So
it.
you just randomly went back to it.
Yeah, I played Danganronpa this year, and then I played Dragon Age Inquisition,
Mm.
and I had a blast with Dragon Age Inquisition because I think
So
that was the game of the year that year, right?
yeah, that was like the first. So that was like the first big RPG.
Yeah.
So it's really funny because like I had a Vita at the time as well, and I remember this is when I was working at Northwestern Academy. I didn't really like get a chance to mess with my Vita until I got injured at work. Like
Hmm.
I tweaked my knee. I forgot doing what. It wasn't even in a restraint. I think I was like playing basketball at work. It fucked my knee up, and I remember I couldn't walk for like 2 weeks, so I'd stay off it. And I remember just laying in bed
Hmm.
playing Danganronpa and having a fucking blast. Like I would just sit in bed playing Danganronpa,
Yeah.
and yeah, great game. So because me and my buddy Matt, we both bought the Borderlands Vita. We
Oh,
bought
okay.
that. We
Cool.
bought that bundle of Vita. We both, and it was fucking. Borderlands ran like such ass on it. It was like it was. I was shocked they got it to run, but it was like foggy. Like the draw distance was all fucking dumb. So
Hmm.
it was kind of a dumb Vita game. But I have a lot of really cool memories with Vita. Some of my favorite Vita games are both Danganronpa games. I had Final Fantasy X on Vita.
Okay. Yeah.
I had Persona 4 Golden on Vita. I never played Freedom Wars. I always wanted to.
It's good. It's like a monster hunting
Uh,
game, pretty much.
then I
And
played then Unit 13. I liked.
okay.
I'm trying to think what else I had. Shit. Ah, this is when I discovered East. So
Oh.
I bought East Memories of Celceta, and that game was a fucking banger. It was like I played the fuck out of that game. It was such a fucking great game.
Yeah, people love that
Um,
game.
yeah, no, I have the PS4 release of it, so I remember beating East Memories of Celceta, and then there was another fucking. It was like called Psycho Break, or it was an RPG that was kind of like Persona that I was playing on Vita, and then just um never went back to because we're gonna lead into one of the dark times for me. So I had a PS4 at launch, my launch PS4, and I had it for about a year and a half. So in in April of 2015, and I remember this very vividly. This is right before the NHL playoffs. Uh, my apartment was burglarized. So, but prior to that, I had bought, and this game is going to invoke memories for you because it does for me. Because I never got to finish this game until maybe months later. I had bought this Final
Oh, okay.
Fantasy
Yeah.
Type Zero. This is the day one
Sure.
edition, and the reason I bought it like everyone else It came with the fucking
Yep.
episode Dusky
Yep.
code. So of course you're gonna fucking pick it up. You know what's really funny about this is I have my original receipt on here. So yeah, I bought Final Fantasy Type Zero uh from GameStop. What year was it? Let me see. It was in 2015. I'm just trying to figure out what day. Yeah, it was launch day.
Yeah, you were that you
Yeah.
were there early with Type Zero. You love Type Zero. You're a Type Zero
Yeah.
supporter, famously.
So Type Zero was literally the first time I had ever platinumed a Final Fantasy game. So like this game, I don't know. This game isn't good. It's like I don't think I can't sit there and tell people that like it's a great game. You should play it. You should play it because like I feel like people will play it immediately and not like it, and there's definitely specific reasons why people will not like it, and
Yeah.
I think those are valid reasons. But for me, I felt like we were so fucking deprived of JRPGs on this console that like I only bought Type Zero to fucking play the 15 demo, but I'm like, you know what? I bought this fucking game. Let me get in here and see what's up. And I fucking fell in love with the game. I love the characters, love the music. Um and yeah, so I always look at this game specifically because it's just from that time period. And this is my original game that like I remember cracking it, playing episode Dust Guy and loving it, and then like, all right, I'm gonna get in this Type Zero, and I remember playing like maybe 13 hours in maybe, and really enjoying it. And then my PS4 got stolen. My original launch PS4 got stolen, and yeah, I just never got to finish it until I bought a Batman PS4. I bought the Batman Arkham Knight one
Okay.
like a couple months later, and I don't know. It was a weird time because like I wasn't playing PS4 games for like almost 7-8 months. So another funny part about last gen, and this will probably make you laugh. Um, I had a Wii U,
Sorry
and
about that.
I know it was an L. Sometimes you just take an L. And I remember that Wii U um, had also been stolen. And you know when like when something's not good when you don't replace it.
Mm-hmm.
I never replaced that Wii U, but I had 2 games pre-ordered for the Wii U that I've never opened because I never had reason to. Can you guess what those 2 games are?
Xenoblade Chronicles X and I don't have a second.
Okay, so you're definitely right about Xenoblade Chronicles X.
I knew because I thought I remembered seeing it in
Yeah, it's
your collection.
sealed. It's still sealed.
Yep.
One day, if so, I've made a pledge. One day I will play this. So at some point I will rebuy a Wii U if this isn't put out on Switch. I have a feeling it's going to be out on Switch, but if it's not, at some point I'm going to get a Wii U and open this bad boy up because I need to pilot this fucking thing. I need it.
By that time, disc is gonna be all fucking melted or something on the inside.
Yeah, it's still sealed. But then the other game, which is funny because I still have never beaten this game and I have another copy of it because it came out on Switch. Was Tokyo
Oh,
Mirage Sessions. And I remember being so fucking excited for this game because I was like, "Oh, we're finally getting the JRPGs are coming to Wii U. We're finally getting some shit. I can finally justify this goddamn purchase." And then a fucking Wii U gets stolen, and I just never replaced
well,
it. So
that console is fucking terrible. There's no
yeah,
reason to ever buy another Wii U. Um,
yeah. So
yeah, for me, that generation of gaming is a generation of like growth and change, not just in the industry, but also like with me, right? The
yeah,
PS4 comes out when I'm very much barely an adult,
yeah.
and
You're a young
my
bull.
my life changes dramatically by the time the PS5 comes out, right? So
Oh my god, yeah.
it's just it's a massive change, and it's a massive amount of growth that happens during that era of video games.
Hmm.
And I mean, I think about moving my PS4 from my dad's house to my girlfriend's house and her apartment in Lock Haven. And I remember moving my PS4 from you know that place to Watson's when we broke up, and moving it between bedrooms at Watson's place when you guys moved in, and
Yeah.
moving it to my other apartment, and then moving my PS4 Pro here, and it's like,
Yeah.
man, there's so much change and growth that happens. And then I think about a launch game like Resistance, right? And how that franchise died during that
Yeah.
generation, and
Yeah.
how we got other franchises that came back, like God of War, in that
Mhm.
generation. And
Well, yeah.
there's just, yeah, I think you're right. I think that is probably one of the best generations in all of gaming, and it's a generation where I feel like we reached the peak of what video games are. And I think the peak of where realism and fun combined. And I don't think we're gonna go any further with the fun as far in the realism on like a graph.
No.
I think the higher we go in realism, the less fun
Yeah.
video game becomes, because more money is injected into it, and it's becoming very much more of a corporate culture in these larger video games. And the PS4 generation is the last generation where I feel like the artistic integrity of video games in the AAA space was taken seriously. Um, and man, was it ever, when you see games that came out like The Witcher 3 and
Oh, yeah.
eject CD Projekt into this
Mhm.
mainstream publisher and developer, and then you see them fall off immediately at the very tail end of that generation with
Yeah.
Cyberpunk, and then their redemption, and you see like the Hello Game situation come out, where like they release No Man's Sky, and it's a
Mhm.
shit game, and then their redemption over that course of that generation, and just the fall
Yeah.
of Ubisoft, where Ubisoft was this beloved publisher at the beginning of the PS4 generation, and by the end of it, everyone's like, God, we fucking hate these guys, and we're sick of Assassin's Creed, um, it's just like so much happens in the PS4 generation that's not necessarily all growth, but change as well. Like I feel like before the PS4 generation, companies were growing and growing and growing, and then at the very end of like the PS3 generation, I think, is when THQ dies, right? And we lose the middle space for games,
Yep.
and then we start going into the PS4 generation, where it's not always about growth. There's a lot of like change in public perception, and also audience. So we see like the downfall of Call of Duty, really, in my opinion, in the PS4 generation, where
Yeah.
the Call of Duty games started becoming less relevant by the end of it, and the public shift in towards EA and stuff like that, man. So yeah, definitely a really interesting generation to look back on, and remember like where you were playing games.
Yeah.
I remember the night that Persona 4 came, or Persona 5 came out, and I'm playing Horizon Zero Dawn. Like I cannot play Persona 5 before I beat this game, or I'll never go back and finish it. And you know what? I broke, and I never went back and finished Horizon Zero
Yeah.
Dawn. Never.
So so it's funny because, like, I'm so glad you brought up how, like, you look at games. Oh, excuse me. You look at games in your collection, and like you just have specific memories, and it takes you back to where you were and um, what you were doing, and it just, I don't know. I just feel like I'll always have nostalgia for that generation, and I'll never get rid of my PS4 collection because like I hold so many fucking memories with so many games. And there are other things too. Like I remember when I got injured at work the second time where I tore my ACL. I was starting to fall out of love with games. Like my game tastes were like a little different. Like I was more of a sports gamer. I would only play like sports games really, and because I didn't really have time for anything else. And then like when I had to just stop and like stop, slow it down, and just play games because you have nothing better to do. So
Right.
that's when I got back into like handhelds. So I bought a 3DS, and this is the Fire Emblem Fates one, which is a really rare one now. Um, and remember just rediscovering my love of Nintendo franchises. That's when I got back into Pokemon. That's when I got back into Fire Emblem and rediscovered my love of Shin Megami Tensei games. And so I have a lot of fondness for the 3DS as well. But for PS4, man, I look at games in my collection and I just like remember. the time of my life where like I was playing them. So I look at a game like Final Fantasy 15, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a controversial game for sure. It's divisive. A lot of people hate it for a lot of reasons. My buddy Jordan just recently played it through it. He's like, this game feels like a mess. I'm like, it's because it is a mess. It's a mess. But I have a special love for this game because this was the game that made me like I don't want to say love Final Fantasy, but this game, the end game content for me, like the quest to get to platinum, is when I like discovered my love of like the end game content. And like because my cousin, he's a giant Final Fantasy fan, and
Hmm.
but he's like a hardcore gamer. I think he's got like 92 platinums, which is pretty impressive.
Wow.
And he loves Final Fantasy games. Like he put in work in every Final Fantasy game, even before platinums were a thing. But once platinums became a thing, he would have like tried 100% all of them. So he's got the platinum in 13, I think 13 too, and Lightning Returns,
Oh wow.
and he's got the platinum for 10. I think I remember when we were kids, he like 100%ed Final Fantasy 12. So, and he said to me one time, he's like, really, Final Fantasy doesn't begin until the end game content. I was like, what the fuck does that even mean?
I
But
don't agree with
what
that.
he meant by that was like some of the end game stuff they put in there is like where the fucking grinding and like the I don't know, just the challenge stuff comes in. So like when I started doing the end game content in 15, it kind of clicked for me. So like even doing that fucking dungeon you hate, doing the Animantoys fight, and like going back to going back to God damn it, what the fuck is the name of the city? I can't. I'm blanking on it. Is it Insomnia?
Um.
Insomnia. Going
Yeah.
back to
Yeah.
Insomnia, and like whenever they updated it, so like, and it was just they opened it up more, and then all the DLC. So it just made me love Final Fantasy a lot differently than I did before then. So now, um, anytime a Final Fantasy game comes out, I've gone and like done most of the end game content I can, and that's the stuff I love about the RPGs. So that's why I always look back on this game very fondly, and I just always like, man, this was the one. Not that it's my favorite or anything. It's just the one that like I felt like I finally became like a bigger Final Fantasy fan. Like I don't know.
Interesting.
So for example, like this is the game that like made me want to try and get the Knights of the Round material when I was playing Seven original. Like you know what I mean? Like the whenever the remake came out of on the PS4. So
Yeah, it's
another
funny
thing I
because
got.
you. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, good. You're good.
I was gonna say you always go through. You were talking about going through like these phases of if you like falling out of love of gaming and whatnot, and I feel like you go through these phases so often. Like you have like very specific like depending on like your mental state and mood and whatnot,
Yeah.
all these different phases that you'll go through. Like
Mm-hmm.
you like I think you might forget like you dead ass told me to like throw away or keep your copy of Final Fantasy 9. That was a
Yeah.
thing that happened. Like
Mm-hmm.
you were like I don't care about that. And I'm like, I'm gonna keep a hold of this because I know you better than that, right? I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep a hold of this for you. Like, yeah, you definitely go through these phases.
Still
And you
here.
have like these blind spots. You put these blinders on. Where you're like, I'm done with that. And I'm
Yeah.
like, then you're like a couple months later, you're like, oh, I'm back in, buddy. I'm back in. And I'm like,
Yeah.
all right,
Well, yeah, for
it's just
sure.
funny.
Yeah, it's just so gaming like for me, especially in what I do, it's been the ultimate coping skill for me. So like anytime I'm like fucking really sad or just going through something, like gaming has been like the one constant thing that is like always there. It's always there to take my mind off shit. You know, again, because life gets fucking hard. Like you've
Sure.
been through it where like fucking go through some dark shit. Like fuck yeah, I'll go escape into some fucking world and not think about the fucked up things people are doing to me in my life. So,
Yeah.
yeah, dude. So I don't know. I will. I think I'll be a gamer the rest of my fucking life. I'd be shocked if there was ever a point in time in my life where like I wasn't playing games. Cause I can't wait to like when I'm retired, I'll be fucking sitting on my couch fucking playing whatever the fuck we're playing at that point.
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
Yeah. Um. Last thing we'll talk about on this little stroll down memory lane. The year of 2017, the year of the bangers. That was that year that we were getting bangers left and right. And remember, it started with Horizon. Like Horizon came out, and then Breath of the Wild came out. That's when Switch dropped. And then we got Persona 5.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then I laughed when you mentioned the death of something. I felt like this was the death of BioWare because that's when,
Oh, Mass Effect Andromeda comes out.
yeah. And ironically, I will still stand on it. more or less did as much as they could to fix Andromeda. I actually kind of liked it. It was fine. It went from being shit to fine. But I feel like
Andromeda just
this
has a
was the
bunch of
game that
bitch
killed
boy
it.
energy for me.
Yeah. But I feel like that was a game that killed BioWare. Like that and Anthem.
Yeah.
So yeah, this RIP BioWare. I'm not really sure what Dragon Age Beowulf's gonna be, but you will
Shit.
never get the same BioWare.
No. Like a lot of the Bioware people went on to work at Larian Studios, the people that made Baldur's Gate 3, though, and it
Makes fucking
shows.
sense.
Yep, it shows.
Yeah, and
So,
then of course we got the Trails games.
oh yeah, dude, the Trails games, that the series that you conned me into playing.
How did I con you into playing? Is it because I beat one before you did?
No, you fucking you saw me. We talked about I forget how it happened. We talked about playing them or something, and I told you that like I wasn't into it. I played the first game. I gave like the first game a solid chance. I wasn't into it, and then one day you don't even tell me you're playing it. You just walk in. You're like, oh, I beat that, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, well, I can't let that slide. And you were like, yeah, I kind of like the ending. The ending's pretty sweet, and it's a banger. And I'm like, well, let me see what this ending's about. Then you were right.
Did you play it on PS4 or PS3?
I played it on PS4. So originally, I still have the original PS3 edition up there, which I'm
I
sure
don't know
is
where
like
mine
super
is. I
rare.
lost it. Yeah,
I'm sure that PS3 edition's like super expensive considering how expensive the PS4 one is. But I couldn't. I think the PS3 one didn't have like the fast forward
Yeah.
mode or the
Yeah.
auto continue or something like that, and I just was not into it. So
Dude, I beat it on PS3.
that's rough. That is rough.
Yeah, that was rough. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was brutal. But yeah, that when we discovered the fucking Trail series, buddy, it's been a ride.
Oh yeah.
It has been a fucking ride. Notice
Yep.
how we didn't talk about Xbox One.
I didn't have an Xbox One. I never played an Xbox One. You're the one that bought the Xbox One X in secret shame.
It was secret shame because I was like, I wanted to play Gears. I was like, fuck, I haven't played Gears in forever.
Yeah.
And just like I said, beat Gears was fine, but and Halo 5 was terrible. But yeah, then here's one that'll drop some memories. Remember this?
Oh yeah, the game that betrayed us.
Fucking worst. Fucking, I hate that game so fucking much.
Yeah, Dissidia NT, dude.
But I tried to like it. I tried so fucking hard to like it. I'm like, I love Dissidia. I love it.
I love the PSP ones, dude. I love the PSP ones, but
oh man,
that game is a giant turd sandwich. And it's because they tried to. It's because they, instead of making a new Dissidia game, they
fucking made it.
They adapted the arcade game and like tried to make it like an esport. It's like,
are you fucking
ridiculous?
And then they made the fucking server. Was it peer to peer or something like that?
Yeah, they didn't have dedicated servers. It was peer to peer. So there was a massive lag issue. Ridiculous. One of the all-time slaps in the face from Square Enix.
I remember we tried to play online and like we would get bots on our fucking team. We couldn't even get a third.
Yep.
Oh man, I fucking hate this game so much.
Yep. One night we played one night, and
I couldn't do it. I just like I fucking hate this game, dude.
Yep.
So yeah. Oh man, God, I love that last generation. I don't think I'll ever look at a generation like that. I don't know. I don't know. Like even PS5, like until recently, I feel like PS5 was kind of like a weird.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I don't know. I was playing a bunch of PS4 games. And granted, there's still PS4 games I need to play. Like I still need to run through both Nier games. Like I really want to do that. Because I got the Replicant and then I got Automata. I have the Game of the Yorha edition.
Okay.
So like there's still some games on my PS4 shelf I want to, finish up. Still a couple games I want to add because I realize I don't have Spider-Man or God of War because I think I bought them digitally. So yeah, but great generation, great fucking generations for Sony specifically. Oh, you Xbox nerds, sorry.
So before as we wrap this topic up, I need to give a shout out, Pedro.
Yeah,
I need to give a shout out to Watson Thompson, our buddy, our beautiful baby boy, because Watson Thompson has finally dedicated himself and put in the work to play Mass Effect.
Get
and
the fuck out of here.
I couldn't be more proud of him because for years he's tried it a couple times and never gotten past the Citadel and be like, I don't like this game. Randomly one day he picks it up, right? And now he's in love with it.
Is he playing on PC?
He's playing on a Steam Deck almost at the very end of the game.
Wow.
Yep, he's just got past that giant like tree infestation thing.
Yeah.
And he texted me the other day. It was maybe even yesterday, and he's like, "Dude, I can't believe this game. It was so far ahead of its time." And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Dude, this game is way ahead of its time. I can't believe the depth to it." And I'm like, "Yes, now you understand. Like it's rated one of the highest series of all time for a reason."
Oh man, it was such a good game, dude.
And now that he's at the very end of one, well, not the very end, but he's getting there. He's gonna hit that twist at the very end of one,
Yeah.
and it's gonna
Watson,
be
you son of a bitch. I'm jealous.
it's gonna be sucked. And that's what I told him. I said, dude, you talking about it makes me want to play it again. And he's like, no, you're just hungry for nostalgia. And I said, it's not nostalgia. I said those games are just that damn good.
Yeah.
They're just that good.
Yeah, I remember I played the Legendary Edition that came out recently, and like it was years ago when I was living in Muncie.
Yeah,
and I remember playing through one. I didn't finish one, but I played through. I'm like, this fucking game's great.
Yeah,
but I noticed with nostalgia games, like games I love, I don't ever when I go back and play them, I don't like beat them. I just kind of play it for like an hour or two. I'm like, there it is.
Yep. Well, yeah, I've been itching to play through a Mass Effect playthrough again. I've only ever beaten 3 once.
Wow.
I've only ever beaten 3 once. I've never replayed 2. So
2 is my favorite one.
Yeah, as I remember, 2 was my favorite as well.
Yeah,
like
2 is easily the best one.
Yeah.
Shout out. Next show maybe a couple shows from now we'll recap that fucking generation, the PS3, 360, because I feel like that was a great one too.
I think
we need
to have a call in from Watson Thompson when he beats Mass Effect 1 and get a Mass Effect checkup on Watson once in a while here.
Yeah, fuck checking on him. Checking a little
I told him, I said, dude, you're gonna be hooked in at the end of 1, and you're not gonna stop playing until the end of 3.
Just tell him not to play Andromeda. I mean, granted, I liked Andromeda, but I think he would hate it.
You know what kills Andromeda for me overall? Actually, if I'm being honest with you, it's how you can't make the main character look cool. You can't make that guy look normal. He's always got a small body and a huge head.
Yeah, I gave my guy like long hair and a mustache. That was about it.
Might as well like double down on the weirdness, huh?
Yeah. All right. So, any closing thoughts before we move on to the lovely misconduct list?
Nope. Right. Rest in honor, PS4.
Yeah, fucking. What a fucking great generation.
Yep.
All right. So the PS4. Bleh. Moving on to the misconduct list. So first thing on the misconduct list is we have the BAFTA most iconic video game characters list. So
that's a joke. I don't even know if I want to talk about this, Pedro, because this list is so clearly just inspired to get people talking that it seems like a dishonor to like fucking even bring it up, because you have to be a fucking asshole to even consider this list to be somewhat accurate. Like you have to be so detached from video game culture to even consider this. Like how can you talk about the greatest game characters of all time and not put like Mario and Pac-Man at number 1 and 2, right? Yeah. And like Link at number 3, right? Instead they put fucking Lara Croft at number 1. Fuck off, eat my whole asshole with a fork, a knife, a spoon. You just chow down, buddy. You can I'll bend over and I'll let you eat my shit for as long as you want. Like, fuck off. I'm not about it. And also they were like, oh, she's the first female-led video game character of all time. Pick a fucking side. Pick a fucking side. Either she's a sex symbol that needs to be erased and remade, or she's like an honorable character that ran her own video game. Pick a fucking side. Eat my ass. Lara Croft isn't the most iconic video game character of all time. If I showed my mom a picture of Mario, or I showed my mom a picture of Lara Croft, she'd be like, well, that's Mario. I don't know who that dumb bimbo is, right? Fucking shut up. I can't take it, BAFTA. You're about to catch a whole fucking 5-knuckle shuffle.
So, just for the sake of the listener, sake of the viewers, we're going to go through the list because this is fucking wild. So, at number 20, They have Nathan Drake. Thoughts?
Nathan Drake deserves to be on the list.
Okay.
He's a good
So
character.
20 is about right.
I don't know if that's where he should be because the rest of the rest of the list is so fucked that I don't know where Nathan Drake would be
Yeah.
in terms of the whole list. You know,
Okay. So we have 19 Ellie Williams
no,
from our last. Yeah, no.
no,
But
get out of here.
18, even though I'm a Yakuza guy, we have Kiryu.
No, no, dude, I can't. I can't, Pedro. You're gonna kill me here.
This is great. This is beautiful content.
You're gonna kill me.
So number 17, we have Asterion from Baldur's Gate 3.
No, Asterion has no like. He's a fine. He's a fine side character.
Iconic?
No. And it's not even the only Baldur's Gate 3 character on this list. I can't take it.
16, we have Cloud Strife.
Okay, yeah, Cloud deserves to be on the list, I think.
Yeah,
as far as iconic goes,
yeah.
Maybe even in the top 5.
I would agree with that. 15, is Crash Bandicoot.
Yep.
14, Solid Snake.
Obviously.
13, Steve from Minecraft.
Debatable.
Yeah, I don't really like. That's debatable to me.
I don't have a problem with it that much, depending on who else would be on the list.
I don't know what Steve looks like. I never played Minecraft.
But yeah, I mean,
so number 12, Pikachu.
Sure. No. Red. Red should be in place of Pikachu, not Pikachu. Pikachu is an iconic mascot for the Pokemon franchise.
Yeah,
but Red should be in that spot.
Number 11, Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption 2.
I haven't played Red Dead, so I can't tell you. People love Red Dead, though.
Yeah, but really iconic. And then we'll go 10, Shadowheart from Baldur's Gate 3.
No, I don't think she's. I love Shadowheart.
I feel like Baldur's Gate 3 hasn't been out long enough to be iconic. Like
I agree with that. It's too soon. Also, I think she's a really great and really well written character, but she's not iconic. You can't make people who don't know who she is inside the hardcore gaming space.
Right. And then so number 9 is Kratos, which I use iconic.
Debatable. I maybe people don't like Kratos. People didn't like Kratos until the new games, right?
Yeah. But he's been around a minute. We have Master Chief, Link, Pac-Man, which is fair. Sackboy?
No, Sackboy doesn't deserve to be on that fucking list. Don't even play those games, dude. I mean, people did, but
yeah. And then Sonic, obviously, he's there. Agent 47 is number 3.
It's no.
What?
Whoever made this list is just a fucking asshole. That's all it is.
This was a poll. This was a poll.
4,000 players. 4,000 players bid on this. And it's like, were they all from fucking? They must have been from Britain. I didn't even hear about this poll.
Agent 47. Like, dude, if you showed a photo of fucking Agent 47 to somebody, they wouldn't know who the fuck that is. And then Mario, and then number 2. I cannot believe Mario is number 2. And then, like you said, Lara Croft, number 1. And first introduced to the world in 1996 for the Tomb Raider for the Sega Saturn. Lara Croft has appeared in over 15 games, 3 films, multiple novelizations, and comic book adaptations, and an upcoming Netflix animated series. Lara Croft voted number 1.
Fuck off. This list is so absurd, and the ranking is so absurd that I don't even have I don't have any constructive criticism for it. Like, does Lara Croft deserve to be in the most iconic characters of all time? Sure.
Yeah.
You can't rank her at number 1 above Mario, Pac-Man, Sonic. Like, dude. I'm about to start slapping people at BAFTA. Like, I'm about to go to next GDC, find these BAFTA people, start slapping anyone associated with this company.
Dude, that's
this is for my boy Mario.
Yeah, like, and we're not even big Mario guys, but like, literally, Mario is literally the most iconic video game character of all time. Like,
you have to say Mario and Pac-Man are at the top. Yeah. Mario, Pac-Man, Sonic, these characters have to be at the top.
How the fuck, man? Oh, BAFTA, God, fucking, that's like probably the top tier misconduct I think we've ever had. Last one on the list, it's nowhere near as egregious, but pretty fucking egregious. So, I have it written here. Nintendo fans are the worst because the Wii U and 3DS eShop finally shutting down. I'm a little shocked that they were even still up, like their functionality, their online, excuse me. And Smash 4 players have recently come back into the woodwork for some reason. There's been a big uptick in Smash 4. Why? My question is why? Who
You
is
know what?
who's
I'm
busting
gonna
out
say
the Wii
something.
U? What?
I hate the Smash community.
Oh, me too. They're horrible.
I fuck.
They're the worst.
First
Worst.
off, dude, I reject. I know people get like really technical with it. I reject the fact that it's viewed as a legitimate fighting game. I reject that to my core. All right. I don't agree. All right. I don't
Mhm.
agree. This is like when we're starting to pretend like esports are real sports. They are
Yeah,
not. All right.
esports athletes.
They can be their own thing. All right. Smash is its own thing. That's a different genre of like it's like brawlers, right? Don't call it a
Yeah,
fucking fighting game. You don't put Smash next to Blaze Blue and be like, look at these fighting game athletes.
yeah,
No. I'm sorry. It's not the same. It's different. All right.
yeah.
And also, why are there so many pedophiles in the Smash community, right? Why are you guys so fucking weird? Oh, is it because it's the fucking child fighting game? Is that why? Probably. You fucking weirdos. And they have the nerve to attack the rest of the fighting game community for having like sexual female characters in their games. Like, how
Yeah,
about you take a fucking back seat and look at the Smash Brothers community? All right,
full of pedophiles, like
full
full
of
of pedophiles.
pedos. You're
Why? And that's
fucking
fucking weird. It's like
creepers.
Smash and Roblox full of pedos. But anyway, you know what's weird about the Smash community too, and Smash as a whole. I love Smash Brothers, but like I'm not a fucking pro Smash player. Not that I ever aspired to be. What I love about Smash is you get a bunch of buddies over, fucking get a pizza, get some fucking soda, and you fucking have some fun. But how this fucking franchise people obsess over, like you said, to the point where there's Smash Ultimate like communities, and then there's a subsect where it's just the melee guys, and those are all guys our age,
Yep.
like the melee guys. And this franchise is so fucked up that they're the only franchise we let it get away with like still only being best played with like a 20-year-old controller.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it. I fucking hate it. And like, why are people like so unwilling to let go of the GameCube controller? I don't understand it. The Pro controller is a
It's
phenomenal
great.
controller.
It's
It's
great.
probably one of the best controllers that have ever been made. And we're like, no. You don't understand. It's got the big A button. You know, like I fucking hate it, dude.
It's so fucking funny though. It's like they
Oh,
get
it's not. It's not funny anymore. It was funny 10 years ago. It's not funny anymore.
and they're still coming up with like, and like no one in their office was like, yeah, no, we'll make GameCube. Like, no one stopped to think like, hey guys, do you think we should kind of like kill it off? Like it's time to nope. And again, it's Smash 4. It's basically Smash Ultimate, but like with less content.
And the
Smash,
characters can trip, right?
yeah, it has no, that's Brawl, but
Oh, is
Smash
it?
4, like it's basically Smash 4 is basically Smash Ultimate minus like all the extra characters and all the levels. It's just a worse version of Smash Ultimate. So I'm just like, why are we playing this? Nobody give a fuck about Smash Ultimate, like or Smash 4.
Nintendo fans are fucking weird, dude.
They're the fucking worst, dude. They're the worst. And I used to be a big Nintendo fan, and now I can't. Like this company kills me, but the fans kill me even worse.
Yes.
So Nintendo fans, I mean, I guess it sucks that the Wii U and Smash community, the Smash for Wii U and Smash for 3DS, like they're shutting it down. Again, don't know why we need one last hoorah in there because again, like nobody really liked Smash 4 like we do. It's just not talked about like Smash Ultimate or Melee. Like it's just not. So just like what what are we doing? That's like, oh, they're gonna shut down the fucking Mario Kart 8 on Wii U servers. Let's get back in there too. Like, why are you all in there? Huh? Oh wait, because you can play it on Switch with better content. Oh, fucking people. Man, they are the worst. All right, so anything in closing? Oh yeah, we got to get into what we've been playing.
Games we've been
Jesus
playing.
Christ, that's messing me up. So let's get into Dragon's Dogma 2, and then we'll get into the Rebirth. And then, or no, we'll do Dragon's Dogma 2, and then everything else you've been playing,
Yeah.
and then
I'm
we'll get
overthinking
in,
it, buddy.
and then we'll get into Rebirth. So
I'm
Dragon's Dogma
overthinking
2.
it. Yeah. I bought this game the other day just because I was sitting there thinking about it, and I thought about it for a while. And originally, I was on the train of like, I'm gonna wait for a price drop, and then I'm gonna get it. I really love the first Dragon's Dogma,
I loved it too. That was like one of my favorite
and
Capcom games.
I couldn't stop thinking about it. I wanted it more and more, and I was like, all right, well, it's been days. I'm gonna get it. So I got it, and I'm just having a blast, dude. I'm still in the beginning of the game. I'm only a couple hours in, maybe less than 5, and it's very similar to the first game. I love the character customization is so good in this game. I mean, my character look like an absolute fucking Chad. He's got a huge shoulder width and like upper body and like a very like upside down diamond shaped body, and he just walks
Mhm.
around like this with his arms swayed. It's like great. It's phenomenal. Um, and I just the combat in Dragon's Dogma is so unique where you can like grab onto enemies and like climb them and stab them and all the different like vocations and classes and stuff. It's really phenomenal, and I'm having a blast playing through it. The open world's very dense and deep, and I like the dynamic way you get quests and side quests and the way the pawn system works, which is like really interesting, and how they learn information and they store that information when they go to different worlds and are used, and it's really really cool. Um, Other than that, I've been playing Final Fantasy 14 a lot, going through the post Endwalker story and getting prepared for Dawn Trail. Really enjoying that. Took a couple hours when I was coming back to figure out my character classes and stuff again. See, that's the thing you're gonna have to deal with. Is it the further you go in on Final Fantasy 14, the
Mhm.
harder it is to come back because your character classes get more and more complicated as you go,
Yeah, and I
and you have
have a
to
very complicated class.
yeah, and you have to relearn how to play the class again. So there's that, and I've been enjoying it a lot. My biggest thing with Endwalker was the pacing. Like the overall story of Endwalker was good, but the game was paced in such a way that I did not enjoy the story of Endwalker at all. I fucking actually hated it. I hated the story of Endwalker because of the way it was paced, and there was so much filler, and we just were not moving. Um, but the overall story, looking back on it, was pretty sweet. I just didn't enjoy it playing at the time. And then I played the Final Fantasy 16 DLC also, which was phenomenal. And well, I shouldn't say it wasn't phenomenal. It's phenomenal to jump back into 16. The actual
Now,
DLC
which
is
is it? The Tides of whatever, or
no, that doesn't
the
come out until the end of the month. This
uh,
was
oh, the one they added it in
Echoes
December.
of the Fallen. Yeah,
Okay, how was so? Tell me about all that.
it's not you're not gonna get a lot of story with it. You're not gonna get like a massive amount of content. It was a cheap $10 DLC that came out really quick. I think because I think they released it with the intention of like keeping people in on Final Fantasy 16 until the big one came out. It's essentially just a tower that you climb up, fighting different enemies, and there's a huge boss at the end, which I won't spoil. It's very hard. What I found that boss beat my ass over and over and over again. Um, but it was so good to jump back into 16 and you know remember how I did my skills and how I had my character set up and like get all this new equipment that they released in the game. The equipment is like super powerful in this game, by the way. What was a little bit negative for me, Pedro. Now I want to know how you feel about this. Did you get the strongest weapon in Final Fantasy 16?
Yeah, I think you have to, don't you?
You don't have to. You can
Oh,
do all the hunts and then you can get
yeah,
like
I did all the hunts, and yeah, I got it.
because this it's significantly stronger than the strongest weapon you get through the story.
Mhm.
Okay. How do you feel about that weapon being replaced almost immediately at the start of this
Yeah,
DLC?
yeah, because you got to get like another sword in order to get the platinum or some shit like that. I was looking at the trophy list
Yeah.
in the
Well,
second playthrough on Final
so
Fantasy mode.
this sword is replaced. It is the best in slot sword 5 minutes in. So like all that effort you went through to get like that the strongest sword in the game,
It's gone.
completely waste of time.
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about that. Not super
yeah, I
crazy
didn't.
about it.
Yeah, that's why I didn't like play through a second time right away because I was like, eh. I
Um,
can't wait for this DLC though.
it's good. The DLC is good. It's again, it's more gameplay focused and story focused. You're not gonna get a ton of story from it, but the next DLC that comes out is supposed to be massive, and you're gonna get a ton of story from it.
Yeah.
So
Now, do you agree with the criticism? Like, there were people who were critical of 16 because like it didn't have any mini games, and if they felt like it didn't open up. But like I felt like the way the game was written, like it couldn't. Like there's nothing to be happy about. There's no fun and
yeah,
merriment in this
no,
game.
people wanted to criticize 16 about anything. There was like a ton of a large sect of people that wanted that game to fail based on any number of factors, whether it being an action based game
Yeah.
or because of the black people thing that they said,
Oh,
or
fucking dude. Yeah.
you know,
I forgot about that. But yeah, quit hating on our boy Clive, man. He's a G.
Final
Do you
Fantasy
follow
16 is phenomenal.
Ben Starr on Twitter, by the way?
Yeah, why?
He's fucking funny. You should, if you're bored one night, look up his Twitter and just some of the stupid shit he'll fucking say. He'll do like Clive asking for a fucking ticket to Barbie, or there's one where it's like him and the voice actor for Sid having like a fucking stupid conversation.
Oh my god.
Yeah, why are you playing Wallpaper Engine?
Because I was changing my wallpaper.
Just, I don't know why I knew you did that. It just popped up on my fucking whatever. I guess,
Yeah,
are we friends on Steam? Are you JS Whites on Steam?
yeah,
Oh, well, yeah. That's why it popped up. And I was like, what the fuck is he doing?
yeah.
um, so any closing thoughts on 16 before we get into the big one?
Mm, not that I have really.
Yo,
No,
I
I'm
heard,
very
speaking of
excited.
16, I heard it goes to somewhere from like Final Fantasy 4.
That's that. I think that's coming up in the DLC.
Yeah. So I wonder how big this DLC is going to be. I'm super excited about it.
I apparently it's supposed to be very big. I think.
Hmm. Can't wait. All right. Rebirth. So you beat the game, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm gonna give you my observations, and then you'll just see where we're at. So I am 65 hours in right now.
Nice.
I'm level 40.
Okay.
So when I was messaging you, I've been playing on dynamic difficulty.
Mhm.
And when he told me, because I kind of had a feeling it was level scaling, but when he told me it basically was, I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because like I
I
felt like I wasn't getting ahead despite me doing literally every quest you could possibly do.
no, dude. It's like literally like a level scaling mode. Like, the stronger you get and the better you do in combat, the harder it makes it.
Yeah. Well, because I wanted to challenge something. You know what? I want to be able to fucking challenge myself a little bit. But I was like,
Mm-hmm.
the way I play RPGs usually just through sheer grinding and fucking doing everything. I'm usually not overly strong, but usually a lot stronger, or at least a level or two higher than people when I encounter them. And I just felt like every single fight, especially boss fights, are like a fucking barn burner. I'm like, God damn, I can't get ahead of nobody. So I was gonna change the difficulty. I'm like, well, what's the point now? Like, I fucking basically at the end of the game or towards the end of the game. Like, no point
Mm-hmm.
in changing it now. So there's that. I'm gonna say something that may be a bit of a hot. Nah, I don't think it's a hot take, but there's too many fucking mini games in this. Too many.
Wow, I didn't expect this from you.
So here's the thing. Not that I don't like it. It's just that it's a lot. So you have Queen's Blood.
Okay.
You have Fort Condor. You have all the stuff at the Golden Saucer. You have the music stuff. You have
Yeah, but
what else?
you can
It's
skip
optional.
all
It's
of
all
it.
optional. Yeah. But if you don't, let's just say we live in a world where someone didn't, and we did everything or tried to do everything, because I'm trying to maximize a playthrough, because I know I'm not getting the platinum, because I don't have 200 hours for you, Square. I don't have 200 hours for Final
So then,
Fantasy
what are
16.
you worried? Why are you doing everything
because
if you're not trying to get the platinum?
because like I feel like my playthrough, it's like I'm enjoying my playthrough because I'm doing it, because like
You
I've
can't
done
complain, Pedro.
not I'm saying there are a lot of mini games, because when I was doing the proto relic for Cosmo Canyon,
Mm-hmm.
things were going smooth. I was doing all the fights and doing all that. Then I got to like the last four things I needed to do for Cosmo Canyon. Then they hit me with another minigame. I was like, fuck. So like I think personally I'm just experiencing a little bit of burnout with the fucking mini games.
Dude, I'm sorry. I can't sympathize with you for this because you're doing it to yourself. You're choosing to do this. You're choosing to get burnt out on the mini games. Stop fucking doing them.
I have this I have this like compulsion that I can't, like I need to do them. I need to.
Listen, you
Yeah,
can't
too
complain.
many. Too
I'm
many.
axing this. You can't complain about the mini games unless you stop doing them.
Yeah, but then I feel like the story hasn't really taken that left on me yet. I'm waiting. 'Cause I know we're gonna go left.
So this
So
concerns me. Fucking concerns me that you're
yeah.
saying this because you weren't even there in this story. You were completely lost until like the other day when you
Well, because I feel like I was misinterpreting things, and like then I was like, wait a minute, because like, I hadn't played Seven since I was a fucking teenager. Like, what the fuck?
I just feel like remake must have been so fucking confusing for you.
Nah, remake wasn't confusing. That's the thing.
How? Pedro, he has the schizo attacks in fucking remake.
Okay, so but when you go from Crisis Core right to Rebirth, you'll fucking it'll be a little fucked up. All right,
Okay.
because like I said, you go from Crisis Core right, and you see the Nibelheim theme and all that, and then this dickhead like does what he does in the beginning of the game. You're like, well hold on, wait a minute here, like. So like if it's that fresh, like of course you're gonna fucking like think something different.
I guess. I
Yeah.
don't know, man.
Yeah. So then the other night I went back and like watched a nice like 2 hour recap of Seven again to get everything in the old noggin. I'm like, okay, all right, we're back. Like,
I
all
mean,
right.
that was shocking.
Not really, because like I knew the story, but I'm like, okay, all right, like we know what's going on now. Like as far as like the little details. It was little details. So, but I still haven't like I'm waiting for that left because I feel like in the remake we definitely got the left.
Well, so it it's clear they are still loosely following
The
the
story,
the
yeah,
plot line of Final Fantasy VII, and I don't know, you haven't played Final Fantasy VII in a long time.
yeah.
It's not a story heavy game. Like there's things you do in Final Fantasy VII that like straight up don't make sense, and they're making them make sense. Like the
Because
Junon parade and stuff. Like
yeah, but
like
I thought that game was like mistranslated though. That's why some things like didn't make sense.
yeah, I mean maybe a little bit, but like the overall actions of the characters, like they were still in very much in like we're just gonna do stuff that's fun and cool mode, and
Yeah,
not worry about like plot cohesion. You don't get a ton of plot in Final Fantasy VII until like the
just
end
the
of the
three
game.
basically. Yeah.
Like until Cloud regains his memories and shit. Like
Mm-hmm.
you don't get that. It very much follows the original in that way. Now there is a little bit of a left turn at the end, but I mean you're mostly it.
Well,
Final
you were
Fantasy
telling me this game
VII.
throws you some curveballs though.
I told you that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I meant like story curveballs. I think I meant more like curveballs in terms of like bosses
Mm-hmm.
and like stuff like that. Like because you where are you at? What region are you in?
Nibelheim now.
Okay, so like you've already seen like some pretty significant like
Yeah.
curveballs, especially at the end of the Gongaga region, where like someone falls into a monster,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah. I
that's a
wasn't
big
expecting
deal,
that. Yeah.
right? Like
I was
so
like, oh.
here's my take. Knowing you as long as I have, Pedro, I think you're going too slow in the game. Yeah, I think you need to just finish it.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, the story's not really picking up, but like you're going at a slog's pace through the fucking game, you're trying to platinum the game without platinuming it as you're playing it.
Well, I'm just trying to do all the story content, or not the story, the in-game content, because there's things I still want to do. Like there's a certain someone that like I'm setting myself up for with a boss fight that I really want to do.
Sure.
Um, which did you do all of the proto relic stuff? No, you
No,
didn't. Yeah.
no,
So
because I
how
was
much
like,
of it didn't you do?
I only did one region's proto. I only did Junon's proto luck stuff.
Oh shit! Yeah, I did.
Dude, listen,
I did every
I was
single one.
no. See, like, that's the thing. I'm like, all right, well, I want to know where this goes. You can come back and do the rest of it. Just fucking play the game. Just finish the story. You can come back and do the rest of it. You're not gonna get locked out of anything.
No, I know that. I looked at the trophy list and like, there's nothing missable or anything like that. It's just, I don't know. Like when I play through and I get to a new region, I want to explore it. I want to fucking see what's there and fucking, what I granted it's like a little bit of rinse, wash, and repeat, but I'm enjoying doing it. Like I like the exploration. I like doing the side quests. I like playing Queen's Blood. That's probably my favorite minigame. and I want to see what. Did you finish all the Queen's Blood stuff?
No, I didn't even like Queen's Blood that much.
Oh, dude, I'm like addicted to Queen's Blood. I think I spent a lot of time playing Queen's Blood. Um, I'm interested to see where that storyline ends because I think I'm like a level 7 rank in Queen's Blood.
Yeah, I think I was level 4.
Yeah, and I've built like several different decks. I think I spent like 2 hours the other night building a deck, like just fucking sitting there and like studying every card.
Jesus.
Well, because again, like this game has like consumed my life. This game has consumed my life. Like I stopped going to the gym because like I'm just when I get home, I just want to play seven. I just want to play Rebirth.
Yeah, I started feeling with Rebirth like I was like, all right, I've been playing this game too long. I need to move on with my life. I need to play something else. That's right. I felt it that way. I was like,
See,
all right,
I don't
I gotta
feel that way
finish this.
yet. I'm like real. See, I'm 65 hours in, and I feel like I still could. I could probably put another 40 in and not feel bad about it.
You are in the like last region though.
Yeah, I get that sense.
Yeah.
So
So
I do love the summons though. I have almost. I'm working on the summon for Nibelheim now. Because I don't know what you did with the summons, but I always got like the 3 intel things, then fought the summon. Because
yeah, I did that.
yeah,
There's no reason not to because the summons weren't as strong if you didn't get those intels in.
right. Yeah, so that's been fun. So I'm really enjoying the game though. The gameplay is I mean, it was great in remake too, so it's just more of that. My party right now is I don't know if this is really a spoiler, but it's Red and the fucking cat.
Mm.
He's a fucking savage. I never realized like how fucking you could do some funky shit with him,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm enjoying it. I love it. And then the other party I use is like usually Tifa and Barrett with Cloud.
Okay.
Yeah, and then occasionally I use Yuffie and Barrett, but yeah. So I'm liking that. And I've never been a big Aerith guy.
Aerith's like ridiculously overpowered though.
I heard I know I was like whatever. I feel like Red's a little overpowered personally, but because
Yeah, Red's a
he
beast.
melts people in that fucking game.
Yeah. Especially in this like vengeance mode.
Yeah, his vengeance mode is nasty.
Mhm.
But the golden saucer, I feel like I spent like 15 hours in. I mean, there's no way it could have been that long, but I felt like it was. I've spent that long because I was doing all the mini games. Like I did all the fucking everything you could in the mini games.
I just you can't sit here and expect me to feel bad for you when you're like, you know what, the mini games, there's too many mini games, and I'm like, wow,
Yes.
you know, there's a lot of them. I know that because like you know you have to do like one of each to get through the game, but not once did I ever feel like the game was mini game heavy. And I see other people complaining about it too online, and I'm like, wow, these people are fucking bitches. And then you stroll in and you're like, oh, I think there's a little too many mini games, and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. Can't get away from the minigame conversation. I have been in Final Fantasy groups on Facebook and like got into arguments with people because I'm like, fucking stop playing them.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know, if you stop playing them, just put too many minigames in. And I'm like, well, then you can ignore anything you want in the game. You
Well,
don't
yeah,
have to
you
do
could
any of it.
100%. Yeah, but I like I said, if you're doing them and like you do them a lot, then you burn yourself out on them. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. The other thing I will say, do you feel like the gill is kind of like how do you feel about the gill disbursement? Because I feel like I can never get a lot of gill. I feel like I'm always hovering around 50k gill.
I feel like I had too much guild the entire game.
Not that I use it for anything because you can just transmute all the items, but I was like, I feel like I fucking like.
I
Why am I
I
not
didn't
getting?
I didn't use much guild at all, so I never felt this.
I see. So because sometimes I buy like I'll buy materia. That's what I think I spend the most money on is materia. But and I'm like, fuck, I always fucking like because when I see they got the time materia and the fucking the what the what's the other one, the fucking healing one you need the revival one. Like you got to certain materia you need, and then I buy it for every single person in the party. It gets expensive. It gets expensive.
I mean, are you selling the material you're not using?
No, I hoard everything.
I fucking hate you. Like how in your mind do you rationalize these like negative things and you're like, I'm not doing anything to fix it.
Well, because what if I want to
Why are
use that
you not
materia
selling
later?
it? Ah.
So you mean to tell me you build your party with you only have one person with a heal materia in your party?
No. But if I'm not using the materia that I like, if I'm like, all right, I'm not like, for instance, if I had bought materia for Tifa, and by the end of the game, I had almost no magic materia on Tifa at all. I think she had ice randomly.
Yeah.
I would have, I was like, oh man, I'm low on gil. I would have sold all the materia that Tifa had that I had built for her because I have specific character builds that I wanted.
Yeah.
And once I had that build, if I had leftover materia, I was just getting rid of it. I never had a single gil issue in that game.
I don't have a gil issue. I just feel like you can't. Like I'm not really getting like I don't know. You're like I feel like I played other Final Fantasy games that I fucking have a fuckload of gil just from battles and all that. And I feel like in this one, I just feel like I just always hover around 50k because every time I go to a new city, I buy more materia, then I try to get my money back up, and it's just the same cycle.
I mean, I don't know.
So,
I mean, you
yeah.
can always just do what other people are doing in the game and attach AP ups to time materia and grind out time materia and max it out and sell them.
Not that deep.
Like you can make gil in the game if you want to. Just put the work in.
Yeah, not that kind of work. No. I'm
You just
used
want
to
to
the.
max all the fucking mini games kind of work.
Hey, I tell you what, I still hate Fort Condor, but I am damn good at it.
You know what mini game I actually did try and I hated was the robot one. Is that Nibelheim's or is that
No,
Gungaga?
it's in the Cosmo Canyon. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you haven't told. I forgot you're fucking. When I told you I got the Gungaga, you were like, "I fucking hate Gungaga."
yeah.
And at
Gungaga,
first when you said
Gungaga
when
could
you
get
said that, I'm
fucking
like,
nuclear strikes. I don't give a fuck about Gungaga. Fuck that region. The
no.
mushrooms that you have to fucking leap through. So dumb, dude. Why can't Cloud just jump up on the ledge, right? Like I'm like, God damn it, you can climb in this game. Why do they give you the ability to climb if you couldn't climb up there? We have to jump on a fucking mushroom that gives you a random direction you have to discover.
Dude,
So dumb.
I was like cursing Gungaga when I was like getting all the world intel because it was such a fucking pain in the ass.
Yes.
I almost gave up. I was like, I fucking hate this right now. But like, I had like one more thing to do, so I was
hmm
like, fuck, let me just get it done. But
Dude,
yeah, I just
the one world intel in the middle of the map took me
yeah,
so long to get because you don't use a mushroom to get there. You use a mushroom to get to a route that you run
yeah.
across to get, and it's the only spot like that in the entire game. And
Mm-hmm.
you're just supposed to know that you're supposed to run across this route to get there. No,
Yeah, I know
fuck that.
when I discovered that, I was pretty mad. And then the fucking summon for that area was a pain in the dick too, fighting his ass. Um, the fucking bull looking one. He was like the hardest guy I fought in as far as the summons go.
The bull looking one. You mean?
Kujata or fuck his name is.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he sucked. Everyone else has been easy.
So you know who Nibelheim summon is, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dude, I gave up. I didn't. Yeah, I
No.
did. Pedro, I think you're gonna give up too.
You think he's that hard?
Yeah, yeah, I do.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah, he toasted me over and over and over again, and I could not get past him. If I
That
really wanted to, I'm sure I could have done it. But I was not feeling it, and I barely use summons anyway. So I got all the other summons in the game, and it
I
was
really wasn't
fuck this.
until I started using Alexander and
Alexander's
well, because he has this like one mode, like the fucking I think it's called like Gear Blast or Gear Laser or something, Grand Laser. And what I noticed is like you can just use it over and over again. Like if you have all your party members, you can have three fucking people with full two bars and fucking boop 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 and fucking just start melting people. I'm like, oh okay. So
I like
it was start.
Bahamut. Bahamut's cool because he's got
Yeah,
like the
Bahamut's a
laser
badass.
swords. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Bahamut. So yeah, loving Rebirth. It's probably my game of the year. I would be shocked if anything I play this year would ever top Rebirth. Like I don't. I'm trying to think of what's coming out this year remotely that I'm going to play. That's going to even touch Rebirth.
So good. Rebirth is so good.
Yeah.
I have very little negative things to say about Rebirth, except that I don't like where they leave the end of the game.
Yeah, I hope we get the fucking next one like within 4 years. Please, just within 4 years. Don't let me be 40 years old.
I think we will
Don't do it to me.
because they have the hard part done, right? Like they
Yeah.
have the world pretty much done and built. They just got to make the northern snow region and the northern crater. But like all the character animations are
Yeah.
done. All the cutscenes take place in engine, so it's not like they have to pre-render anything. By the way, there is some cutscenes coming up that you're gonna have a fucking raging cock about. Like,
Yeah,
dude, there's some hand trading and cutscenes
I
happening
love
that
it.
like you're gonna be all about.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, I can't wait, man. I've been like I said, I've been having a blast with it. When I was fucking, I don't know, and I will say this: the music, the soundtrack of this game is fucking phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
I play with my headphones in sometimes, and like I was doing one of the proto relic quests, and it's like it's Turks based,
Hmm.
and there's a certain fight you get with the Turks, and then that fucking Reno theme kicks in. I'm like, whoa, we're back. That's like my favorite fucking boss fight theme. It's great.
Dude, I really want to unlock Sephiroth and Zack
Yeah,
for
get cracking, buddy.
so I'm gonna go back and finish side
And
content, but I actually wanted to enjoy the story of the game.
I'm enjoying the story.
You're just like, oh, it's moving at a fucking snail's pace. I'm not getting that big left turn yet.
Yeah, like because I'm not like. But now you're telling me to temper expectations. So maybe if I once I temper them, I'll feel it.
I just don't like the game follows more the story of the original Final Fantasy
Yeah.
VII.
I will say this: this game makes me hate like Hojo a lot more than I used to. And then like I was like, you know what? I fucking don't like you. I used to not mind him, but now like after some context, I'm like, you know what? Total dick.
I feel like the original game gave you enough context to hate him.
No, I hated him. Like I hated him now. Like I really hate him. Like I enjoy like
I guess he's a fucking douchebag, dude.
Giant douche.
Yeah.
Oh man, but like I said, I can't wait to finish the game. I feel like we don't really do spoiler casts, but I'd love to do a spoiler cast on that. Um, I'd love to do a spoiler cast on the Trail series if you'd ever get caught up, rookie. Yeah. Speaking of which, when are you coming back?
I don't know. I was gonna go back right after I finished Rebirth, but I have that feeling still where I know that if I force myself right now, I'm
Yeah,
not
don't do
gonna
it.
have fun.
I don't do it.
I don't. Yeah. So
You can't. You can't be playing a Trails game and not having fun. That you don't do that.
I gotta wait until I'm not gonna force myself and I actually want to go back.
Yeah.
Because I still gotta build that Odin model kit. Maybe once I build that, I'll be in.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Yeah. I'll be honest. I'm ready for another Trails game. I've been like just thinking about it. Like ready. I'm so ready. So it's coming. I think it's coming out on my birthday again. So I'm like, yes.
We gotta get you. We gotta get you into to finish 14 story before Dawn Trail comes out.
Well, that's 14 is the only thing I'm really going to be playing until Trails comes out. So, all right. Well, it's been a good show, buddy. This has been a great. Probably been my favorite show we've done so far.
Wow, that's big.
Well, yeah. Just I don't know. I feel like we just been fun stuff to talk about. I feel like we've been energized. We going to take a 300 just kind of energized us, and then playing Rebirth is kind of it's good times right now. Nothing but good times. The vibes are immaculate right now. So it's been a good show. Is there anything in closing you want to say? Anything you got to get off your chest?
No.
All right. Well, it's been a great show. We are the Alpha Nerds. You can follow us on Facebook. Leave us a comment. Check out our YouTube channel, Alpha Nerds Podcast. Like, comment, subscribe. We have a Twitch channel that we never use. It's Twitch TV /Alpha Nerds Prime. When are we going to Twitch stream, buddy? Are we ever going to Twitch stream? Are we going to do that? I don't know how to Twitch stream. So
okay, I was gonna say you're fully welcome to do it.
I don't know how. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, what do you do? I don't even know what to do. Besides just play. Besides just play a fucking random game, right? Like, how do I even record what the fuck my screen's showing? Like, what the fuck?
There's an app that does it, or you can just do it on the PS5.
Oh, huh. Good to know. I don't know if there's anything good I'm good enough at besides like a Sonic game that I would be willing to stream. Because I remember when you streamed Chrono Cross, but you know that game like the back of your hand, so it's like you were basically riding a bike.
I can play Chrono Cross and not even fucking pay attention to it.
Yeah, so maybe we'll revisit that. But until next time, guys, thank you for your time, and remember, when in doubt, square up, throw down.